2027, which makes sense. Tampa Bay's like, hey, wait a sec. We got a guy who was drafted in 2022, and now we're going to wait 5 years. Like, that's not a great trade. So they eventually settled. Stan Bowman keeps talking to him. They finally come to an agreement. Away we go. Sam O'Reilly, I think he's going to be an NHL player. I don't think he has the high-end offense of a Ike Howard, but I think he has a higher floor. I think there's a better chance that he'll be a solid NHL player. Ike Howard could be a guy who's potentially really good. And the thing about scoring wingers who aren't physical is if they don't bring the offense, what else can they do? O'Reilly has other parts to his game, but he doesn't have the high-end game of an Ike Howard. The guy's a really good, rounded two-way game. A lot of people think he's going to be a solid third-line center, and there's nothing wrong with a solid third-line center. Absolutely nothing. Lots of teams wish they could get a solid third-line center. So I like the trade. We are streaming on Orders Nation YouTube for the Gregor Show, in case anybody's wondering. Go to ordersnation.com. That's where our show is on YouTube. Today, we were doing a little test run for the previous shows and just iron out some bugs, and we will have everything full time. Today was a little bit of a trial run to see what went right and what went wrong and what you want to work on and get everything fixed. And so when everybody's back from holidays, we'll be up and running on all sorts of different platforms. But of course, the Gregor Show is at Orders Nation YouTube. If you want to watch it there, feel free, of course, on X and Instagram and more. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. A guy who knows Ike Howard better than most. How about his head coach at Michigan State, Adam Nightingale? He will join us in the 5 o'clock hour today. We'll have Speck there. Obviously, DVD will be by today. Yaremchuk. Stephen Ellis will join us with a really good scouting report. Ellis, one of the guys, I'm not sure there's many guys out there that watch more of draft players and the +1, +2 years after their draft. So he knows firsthand Howard's strengths of his game. Scotty Lindsay, we'll talk a little Edmonton Stingers. They're rolling. He's rolling. Also, Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com. He's going to kick us off here in about 9 minutes' time. We're going to talk about what entails a full goalie department. What do they need? So, should be a lot of fun. Obviously, your thoughts on texts to the trade, many other things. So, we'll see. Hey, Gregor, are you concerned about the size with all these guys in the top 9? Well, first of all, do we know 100% that they're all making the team and they're all going to be in the top 9? Because it's interesting how in a span of 10 days, the Oilers' offensive depth chart has changed quite a bit, right? Because you look at it now, go up and down the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. So you got McDavid and you got Draisaitl. You got Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, Henrique and Frederick, Andrew Mangiapane, Vasily Podkolzin, Kasperi Kapanen, David Tomasek, Matt Savoy, Ike Howard. Then you throw in Matthias Janmark, Noah Philp, Curtis Lazar, Max Jones. You got 16 forwards. Now, Max Jones is probably number 16, but he offers something different, right? Big physical winger. So, like Matt Savoy and Ike Howard, to me, they have to be in the top 9 or they're in the American League. That's just a no-brainer. And then it comes down to, well, are they going to carry 14 forwards? Do you need 2 extra forwards? Or are you better off to just have 1? Now, if they do that, there's lots of guys who require waivers, right? So that's, don't ever overlook that factor. Now, do I think Max Jones would get claimed on waivers? Probably not, but you never know, right? You never know. So we'll see. But they've got a lot of challenges, a lot of competition, which is to me what you want. So Matt Savoy comes in. I think he'll get an opportunity to show what he can do. Ike Howard's going to get opportunities to show what he can do. That's what you want. David Tomasek. You got a lot of guys that nobody really knows potentially how good, how bad they could be. Right? Well, bad's probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean. So we'll get to that. Few other things. 833-401-1440. The Jays. Whoo, mama. Jays. Well, there's still a lot of time. It's only the 7th inning. But it is interesting. Jays have won 10 in a row. They're the hottest team in baseball. And you're like, God, I hope they get because they could tie a franchise record if they win this game against Chicago. Other news in the world of sports, you got a big weekend coming up in the CFL, including the Elks take it on the BC Lions on Sunday down at Commonwealth Stadium at Play Alberta Field. Opportunity for the Elks to, pull within a tie with BC. It'd be huge. So, no game Thursday this week because there's only 3 games. There's 3 teams on bye weeks. Calgary's in Saskatchewan, Ottawa's in Hamilton, and BC in Edmonton. Let's take a quick break so we don't get behind, and we can have a little bit more time with Woodley. We're going to talk about a goalie department and if you're going to build one, how do you do it? So we'll see how it does on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Mr. Rooter rides in a hot air balloon.
Oh, wow. You can really see it all from up here. The river crossing the city like a water line, the Walterdale like PVC pipes, and the cars circling the Anthony Henday like waste swirling a toilet bowl. Which reminds me, which way to the bathroom?
There's no toilet in a hot air balloon.
Well, I will have to remedy that.
For a plumber who soars above the others, trust Mr. Rooter.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Ease joint pain and support healthy skin with NACA Platinum Pro Collagen, marine or bovine in caps or powder. Plus, fuel your workouts with NACA Platinum Pro BCAA caps. Find these and other NACA products at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is July 8th and 9th.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Ease joint pain and support healthy skin with NACA Platinum Pro Collagen, marine or bovine in caps or powder. Plus, fuel your workouts with NACA Platinum Pro BCAA caps. Find these and other NACA products at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is July 8th and 9th.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Batshaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank. Plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Batshaw Concrete Products. 780-372-3854. BatshawConcrete.com.
The employee pricing event is on now at GMC. Right now, get up to $12,000 off the 2025 Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Bring power wherever you go with a 6.2-liter EcoTech V8 engine with dynamic fuel management technology. Bring style to the open road with a signature Denali Vader chrome grille and accents. And keep comfort top of mind with available Super Cruise hands-free driver assistance capability. Employee pricing is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Stingray All Good Vibes on Prime Video offers you thousands of concerts, karaoke songs, and relaxing nature scenes on demand. Benefit from the Prime Day promotion between July the 2nd to the 11th.
Let's go, girls.
Subscribe today to receive 2 months of service at 99 cents per month. Go to primevideo.com/Stingray. For concerts, karaoke, and more. Prime subscription is required.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden. Rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Lovely Wednesday afternoon. Hope you're having an awesome day. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, the OG of lotteries, Lotto 649. Tonight, $18 million gold ball jackpot, the classic jackpot of $5 million as well at PlayAlberta.ca. As we will go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, $2 cones, $2 mini size shakes. Get them at McDonald's, and even better, dollar cones when you order it through the McDonald's app. So download the app, get a $1 ice cream cone. What a great day for a cone. Today, as we stop in with our usually our regular Monday guest, but he was giving back to the community on Monday, helping out in a golf tournament, and we're happy to switch it up. So Kevin Woodley joins us today on the show. Kevin, my man, how you doing?
I'm good, Jason. I really appreciate you guys being flexible with the hours and with me being in here today. Because,
yeah, hey, buddy, anytime, man. We appreciate it. Now we want to talk about the goalie department, and I was looking, and I came up with 14 teams who I think have a semblance of what a goalie department is like. Some obviously have like a head of it, Bill Ranford in LA, and then they have a head NHL goalie coach and AHL coaches, and there's a Lair and there's Zorn and there's other teams like that. The Oilers have do we lose Woodley? No, we got him. Yeah.
Still here, buddy. Still here.
Perfect. Looking at the Oilers and the need for it. When you look at all these teams who have, and I think it's 14, and you would know better, maybe there's more that I missed. Why do you think close to half the league doesn't have a full goalie department?
Well, if you want the truth, it's because they don't want to spend the money.
Yeah, it's kind of
right. Like, I mean, the positions. I mean, we could get into why the goalie coaching position has become somewhat of an afterthought in the National Hockey League for a lot of organizations. I could tie it right into the Hockey Hall of Fame. I mean, the argument for Francois Allaire to be in the Hall of Fame is like it's open and shut. It's an absolute no-brainer as a builder, and yet, when I put it to some of the people that vote, the response was he's just an assistant coach. And when you start to look at the way the position is treated, even the goalie coaching position financially compared to assistants, it's often a fraction, especially what experienced ex-NHL assistants make when they're on the bench in an assistant role. And yet one will run a defense, one will run the forwards. And I would argue goalie coaches have to be in on everything. pre-scouts, breaking down penalty kills, breaking down power plays, all those elements. So I think this is sort of, and I listened to Stan Bowman's exit interview, and he talked about, how tough it can be to understand sort of the position if you don't know it. And so I think a lot of the times there is a hesitancy for some organizations or some managers to put somebody in charge and let them run it, because it's just another layer of something they don't fully understand themselves. And so I think that gets into some of the hiring. Like, we see guys hire familiarity rather than success, because it's really hard for them to evaluate success. Because I could come into a goalie coaching meeting, not for all, but I could make a presentation with I've learned a lot about the position. I could never coach it, but I could probably put together a presentation that, if you didn't really understand it down to the nitty gritty, would sound really impressive. It could probably sound like, hey, this guy can fix our goalies, unless you understand it. Now, I would argue finding somebody you trust and getting them in a development position or a director position, and then allowing them to build out a staff top to bottom that is all on the same page, like the Calgary Flames have done with Jordan Sigalet, Jason LaBarbera, Mackenzie Skapski. And when you look at some of the gold they've mined in the draft and the way they've developed their goaltenders, the sort of hidden gems they've found, whether it's a David Rittich, maybe Devin Cooley next year, I think he's ready to pop. That's a credit to having somebody at the top that consistently communicates with the people below, having them all on the same page in terms of what they teach and what they look for in their goaltenders in the draft, so that they're not just drafting the best talent, they're drafting guys that fit the way everybody coaches at each level. So creating a cohesiveness. In terms of why it doesn't happen like this, I really do believe it's money. One of the best in the game, a name I know I've thrown out here before, like Ian Clark, sort of lost the director title here in Vancouver and has now been reduced to a scout. If you're another team, you can come get him right now and put him in a director role. And we're talking about a guy with a 70% plus success rate of draft to NHL. Picks that he's involved with make the NHL more than 70% of the time. And who wouldn't want that? It's kind of a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Markstrom, Demko, now he wouldn't be your goalie coach, but he'd be working with the goalie coaches, and you'd presumably have to buy into the system that he teaches and have your goalie coaches work with that. There are a number of teams that I think would benefit from that. I think there are a couple that also see themselves benefiting from it. There isn't a single one willing to match what the Canucks are paying him right now based on his old contract. And to me, that's just, again, I don't understand it. We keep hearing it's the most important position. And when it comes to actually spending on it, teams are very hesitant to do so. In fact, and I'm not going to name names, there is a position in the NHL, goalie coaching position, that was up this summer. There was a few. Some were public, some were a little more private. That some of the people that were finalists or maybe even offered the job turned down because the pay rate was less than what I know website writers make on other teams to be an NHL goalie coach, and everything that comes with it from a pressure standpoint. So again, whether it's goalie coaching or a director, teams just seem to not want to spend. And I think part of that is maybe not being able to fully understand or measure what they're spending on.
So you look at it, let's say, Kev, you were hired as a consultant to help the Oilers build a goalie department. What would be your advice?
Oh, that's a really good question. The easy way out for me would say spend the money and hire Ian Clark. But I think it's important for your audience to understand that I do have some built-in biases there. Okay. In this market, when he was the goalie coach, especially this last time, I've always been clear about that, especially as his job title shifted and they took the director role away. And I was critical of it, but I always do like to put up the caveat. He is the one that started me in goaltending. He hired me to write for his magazine way back in 2003 that he was running at the time. And so I edited all of his teaching, and nobody's written more about the position than him. And so that's how I learned goaltending. He brought me into the goaltending world and I fell in love with it. So that caveat has to be there. But that would definitely be one of the first things I would do. I think when you look at his track record of drafting and developing and getting guys that he picks based on the attributes that he wants, putting them in his system, and how often that hits, how often that converts. I mean, he's been gone from Columbus for 6 years. and Daniel Tarasov traded to the Florida Panthers, who, by the way, view things similarly and have the biggest goalie department in the National Hockey League, with both Luongo brothers, Francois Allaire as a consultant, Robbie Tallis in the NHL, Sylvain Rodrigue in the American Hockey League, and I believe another goalie scout. They see things in a similar light. They went and got a former Ian Clark draft pick out of Columbus. They're still in Columbus. They were still benefiting from the sort of chain of goaltenders that he had put in the system. So that would be the easy answer, and then let him build it from there. Beyond that, I do think it's a matter of finding somebody at the top with a vision, with experience. There are other people out there that you could find that might be interested in a job like that, and coming up with a cohesive plan that starts with how you want to coach, what you see your values and your foundations and your goaltenders are at the NHL, understanding that there is no one way to do this. There is no uniform principle. This is how you play goal. But let's take a look at the trends. Let's see what our goalies need to do to succeed behind our system statistically. And so, again, I have a bias here, but I would damn sure have clear-sight analytics and access to it. If they'd had it there, they would never would have signed Jack Campbell. Simple as that. Like, that's a $25 million mistake that analytics program would have shown you in a heartbeat was never going to work. So I do think having that in place and using that as a tool is part of this. But then making sure that you get coaches that see things on a similar level, top to bottom, and have that cohesion. I'm not sure that cohesion has been there. I think a lot of the stuff in the past has been left on the plate of when Dustin Schwartz was the goalie coach. I don't know how much of a role or a voice he had in acquisitions, but I would have my goalie people in that conversation. Like, I've been at symposiums with goalie people where a goalie scout for a team sort of delivered a message to the goalie coaches in the room, and there was 100 of them saying, hey, like, you have to be able to work with different athletes, because me as a goalie scout might recommend we draft an athlete that doesn't necessarily fit your system. And we had a really good back and forth on this, and I can see the value in that. Yeah. But to me, I'm like, why would we ever draft a goalie that forces us to teach and play a different way? So I think you can have cohesion right down to the attributes you look for in a draft, the attributes you look for in free agency, and figuring out how those fit your system right now, where you see the game going, and making sure you have people at every level that not only coach that way, but are consistent, like, active learners, and that are always working together in a group environment. Like, I know they do that in Calgary. They're always leaning on each other, talking, bouncing ideas, and you see the success they've had producing goaltenders. Now, again, I think they're another great example of it. Jordan Sigalette moves up, and he brings in good people. And when you see that example pay off, the people he's brought in, Colin Zulianella was his first hire in the American Hockey League. He's now the goalie coach of the Seattle Kraken, very highly regarded. Thomas Spear was the next one. He's now the goalie coach of the San Jose Sharks, and currently took him right out of the BCHL, Mackenzie Skapski. And look at the success he's had in the American Hockey League. Somebody's going to tab him to be an NHL goalie coach in the next couple of years, and teams that have passed on him this past summer or last year are going to regret it, because I do believe he's going to be excellent.
And he's young, right? Like, he's not far. I think he's like 31. So, you know what? The young guy, bright mind. To me, age doesn't limit you. Some people they see things, they get it, they communicate better. That definitely can help.
Well, and this is where you have to, and again, there are both that can be excellent.
Yes.
Been there, done that, like guys that played the game. To me, you want both as a perfect world, but you don't necessarily have to have both. Ian Clark never played the game at a super high, not as a pro, not as an NHL. I believe he played a little bit in college. David Alexander, the goalie coach of the St. Louis Blues, who was Team Canada's goalie coach at the Four Nations, and as a little soapbox aside, absurd that when they engraved the trophy, they included management from Canada, but not the goalie coach that was there every day and helped them with their pre-scout. All the other coaches were there, but not David Alexander. You want to start a department? Poach him. Give him a director title, a significant pay bump, and watch everything succeed underneath him, taking him out of St. Louis. Guys like that. He never played the game at a high level, but he's a committed, consistent learner Mackenzie Skapski fits the bill because he did play up to the NHL. Career was short, but learned under Benoit Allaire. So he has all those Allaire philosophies built in. And there are values in Benoit Allaire philosophies that continue to pay off and work in today's NHL. I'd argue even increasingly so. But I know Skapski, like Bill Ranford does in LA, goes out and seeks new knowledge and new people. As he watches new ideas, sometimes the Ringo will bring in a new idea, a new person. He actively goes out and sees if there's something there that he can bring to his coaching, to the Calgary Flames as an organization. You can't have guys that have been in a bubble or are content to be in a bubble. And that used to be a problem. New Jersey used to make their goalie coaches weren't allowed to talk to anyone. I always laugh when an organization says they can't talk to me, and then they'll reach out behind the scenes like, I can't talk to you publicly, I can't be on your podcast, but I'd love to pick your brain. Because the position is constantly changing. You need to be able to have conversations with the people that are around these changes so that you are always growing. Because if what you believed 10 years ago is what you're still teaching now or 10 years from now, just like the goalies, if you don't evolve, you fall behind. There are foundations you can stick to, absolutely. But if you're not constantly looking and touching new ideas and staying connected with that and considering them, then you're going to fall behind in today's National Hockey League. And that applies to coaching as well as goalies.
Kevin Whitley from Ingo Magazine, NHL.com. So, Kev, you'd have a head to the department. Then you'd have an NHL goalie coach. Would you have like one AHL goalie coach, a goalie scout, two AHL guys? Like what's an ideal department looking like?
Honestly, I would have an American Hockey League goalie coach dedicated to that. And then I would also have a development goalie coach / scout. If you've got the resources, you could have both. Some teams do. And the one thing for the development goalie coach, he can be a bit of a rover. So if you draft a kid, but he's still in the NCAA or in the CHL, you can actually go get on the ice with him. You can actually go see your draft pick, get on the ice with him, work with the goalie coach there. I know teams that do it. In the NCAA, you can go there, you can watch, you can communicate through their goalie coach, but you can't actually get on the ice with them. So you're actively involved in your draft picks development. Again, with the understanding that there are things you might want them to do as a pro that won't translate at the level they're at. You have to be careful not to push them into things that don't work where they are, but make sure that everybody's on the page that, hey, this is something that we'll have to develop later. But also, the key to having that roving position, that development person, ECHL time. Increasingly, top prospects, including top prospects, their first touch of professional hockey is in the ECHL. And this is the biggest jump. I have talked to, dozens. It's probably over 100 goalies over the years, asking them what the biggest jump is. And it's not American League to NHL. It never is for them. They always say junior to first year pro, college to first year pro. Right now, that jump is most often being made in the ECHL. And a lot of teams have nobody to help them. So at a time in their career where they need the most help, they often get the least. It's frankly absurd to me, and it is changing. We are seeing teams. I'll give you an example. Pittsburgh last year hired a goalie coach specifically for the ECHL because they knew that's where this top Russian prospect would have to start. So they made sure he had somebody they liked, a younger goalie coach that they hired, Karl Popper, who used to work for the Chicago Steel and used to coach NCAA. They hired him just to be there. That young Russian goaltender ended up in the American Hockey League about 2/3 of the way through the season or halfway through the season, set a record with 19 straight wins. Does he get there without the help in the ECHL? I guess we don't know, but I'm having somebody to help him translate life as a pro and the pro game in North America in the ECHL, I believe was, and then the Penguins believe, was a big part of making sure that kid was ready to take the next step. Way too many organizations, and I hear nightmare stories from the goalies themselves. They start their pro career in the ECHL, and it's like, here you go, kid, figure it out. Toughest step to make, and we're not going to help you. So I would make sure that my department had somebody helping at that level.
Yeah, that is absolutely wild that you wouldn't do that. Absolutely wild that you wouldn't.
It's been that way for so long, Jason. I mean, we're only 10 years removed from most teams not having an American Hockey League goalie coach. So it's a slow process. And I get it. Hey, listen, it's not cheap. Like, you have to invest the money. But when you consider, especially with all the goalies re-signing with, like, look at the challenge for the Oilers this summer was there was no free agent crop. As this becomes the trend, the importance of building out your own pipeline, so there is always another one coming, is crucial. And the cost of not having that is going to be increasingly punitive. It doesn't count against the cap. You just have to invest in the right people at all levels.
Kevin Woodley joins us. The Oilers have 6 goalies right now in their organization, 26 years of age or under. Skinner, Connor Unger, Samuel Johnson, Nathaniel Day, they're signed. And then the 2 recent draft picks, Emil Vinny and Daniel Salonen. Now, guys, you mentioned about CHL and NCAA. What about, you draft lots of goalies get drafted out of Europe. Kev, you're sending your development coach over there a bit as well, I would think, to want to get the opportunity. And so then because I know we've talked a lot about the system you play helps your goalies for sure, but coaches change so quickly in the NHL. Can you really draft a goalie at 18 thinking about your organization system when the truth of the matter is 18 or 19, they're not in the NHL till they're 24 at the earliest in a lot of cases. So can you?
In that case, Jason, So to me, there's 2 things. When you're looking at your sort of pro acquisition, you need to be cognizant of the system you're playing in the NHL. And that's more of a free agency, trades, things like that. That's where something like Clearsight Analytics can help you massively. When I talk about systems you play in terms of draft, I mean goaltender systems. Like how you want to teach there are systems within the goaltending world of how a goalie plays. How do they integrate in their posts? How do we manage their depth? There are certain foundational elements that vary from coach to coach, and there are specific attributes. That's why Ian has the success he's had, is he drafts the attributes that he knows are going to work and flourish under the style of or system of goaltending that he teaches. So when I say system of goaltending all the way down to the draft, that's making sure that everybody's on the same page in terms of what we teach. And that's why we acquire goalies with the attributes that will have success playing this specific way. Now, making it translate to a coach's system and what you give up, that's later on in future. But if you build a good goaltender with the skill to play the way you want them to play between the posts, into the posts, things like that, look for those attributes, you have a better chance of getting an athlete to the level where now he can adapt tactically, and the strengths are universal enough that it shouldn't really matter what style you're playing. At the end of the day, defense is going to dictate what type of numbers he has, and ideally you want everybody to be on the same page, but drafting goalies that are going to fit how you teach. And I'll give you an example, because that may sound like, everybody must do that. Again, I'm not going to call anybody out here, but this used to happen at Hockey Canada's POE all the time. They'd invite all these goalie coaches in, and then all these goalies, and the goalies would go from one station to the next, and every time they'd be told a different thing. I know that this has happened at development camps in the NHL, where young goaltenders who are there to impress, right? They need to be pleasers. They need to show that they're learners, will be at one end with the American League coach and then the other end with the NHL coach, and they'll be asked to do something in terms of same play, how we go into our posts, or how we back up in the crease, or how we retreat off the rush, and they'll be getting 2 different messages at different ends of the ice. That still happens. That's a problem. You need to be on the same page in terms of how you want your goaltenders to play, and then if you are top to bottom, you can draft goalies that have the skill to play that way.
Do you see the Oilers doing a goalie department or just getting a goalie coach?
It sure sounds like it's going to be just getting a goalie coach.
That's there too.
And listen, like it's a tough thing, right? I'm not being critical when I say I'm disappointed by that, because at the end of the day, more than half the league is still in that department. The Washington Capitals were one of the first, not the first, but one of the first teams to bring in a goaltending director. Was Mitch Korn. And then when Mitch Korn left to be the goaltending director for the New York Islanders, and now back in Nashville, the Nashville Predators with Barry Trotz in the same role, Washington didn't replace him. They just kept the person that he hired to be the NHL coach in place, and the person that he hired to be the AHL coach since moved up to the National Hockey League and was in Detroit, is now looking for work. Alex Westland, he's excellent. But they never replaced Mitch as a director. So sometimes it's about finding the right person. And maybe the next Oilers hire, who I'm going to My bet is he has ties to Stan Bowman just because of the way Stan talked in that post. Like, it seems like being able to trust the message and knowing you're not being sold some type of, goaltending magic beans is probably important to him. And so I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen the speculation. I mean, he won 2 Stanley Cups with Stefan Waite, with Antti Niemi, and Corey Crawford as his goaltenders. Waite goes to Montreal, coaches Carey Price, has a lot of success with Carey, coaches Canada at the Olympics with Carey. They win a gold medal. Hasn't been in the NHL since leaving Montreal, since he lost the job in Montreal. Peter Aubry, I saw that name out there. Somebody who was tabbed to be the next guy after Stefan Waite left. When he didn't get that opportunity, he went to the NCAA because it was clear in that organization he was never going to get to move up to the NHL, is my understanding, because once Steph left, they hired Jimmy Waite, his brother, to replace that position. And so, there's a guy that I know when Stan was there, it seemed like he was tabbed to be the next one up. And so there's a relationship there. And maybe Peter starts as a goalie coach, if that's where they go, and moves up into a director role because you've got that trust. I mean, it's a job that a lot of NHL goalie coaches covet because it doesn't come with the day-to-day, frankly, crap. A lot of goalie coaching in the National Hockey League today is getting attacked post-game for why your goalies gave up certain goals and why did this go in. It's not always a pleasant experience, and it comes with a lot of volatility in life. We've seen how many guys have moved on this year, and a lot of them have young families, and is there another chair for them to grab? And if not, they're looking for other work. So the director role is a little more comfortable. It tends to be a little more longer lasting, and you're not traveling nearly as much. So who knows? Maybe it's something that a guy like Peter Aubry, who Stan trusts, if he gets the goalie coaching job, could grow into down the road. But at the end of the day, the more people, the more good people you have on the same page, committed to this position, the less likely you should be to chasing help in the position on the free agent market, or finding yourselves where the Oilers are today, with a lot of uncertainty surrounding, how they can upgrade it.
Kev, as always, buddy, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. We will talk to you again next week. Have an awesome week.
Thanks, Jason.
It's Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com. Lots to absorb there, talking the goalie department. We'll get a lot of texts on that when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you an elite athlete or weekend warrior and you just want to enjoy playing the sport you love with less or even no pain? Have you tried every exercise and stretch imaginable, hoping the next one might do the trick? Well, you tried analog. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe healing can move along better and sometimes even faster with evidence-based technology techniques and the people who know how and when to apply it. StimPod, zero-gravity treadmills, radial shockwave, and so much more at your fingertips when you click to find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
Some jobs are easy, and some jobs are not. When the going gets tough and the job is tough, GS Construction hires good people to get the job done right. So, if you know it takes teamwork, grit, and the utmost care to work underground, you just might be who we're looking for. Right now, GS Construction is hiring experienced foremen to join our crew. Apply today at gsconstruction.ca. And remember, from the first manhole to the final tie-in, we've got your back. GS Construction. Tough jobs, good people.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way.
Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for three-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Ease joint pain and support healthy skin with NACA Platinum Pro Collagen, marine or bovine in caps or powder. Plus, fuel your workouts with NACA Platinum Pro BCAA caps. Find these and other NACA products at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is July 8th and 9th.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Your Edmonton Elks face the BC Lions this Sunday at 5. Join the prehistoric party presented by Payworks. We're bringing back the Dino Nugget concession, Baby Dinosaur Crawl, and bigger, better T-Rex Combine at halftime. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beer from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Declan Cougar with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Donovan Paulson running things down at the Oilers Nation YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Give him a thumbs up. Say hello where you're there. He's chatting with you in the chat room, so you can check it out there. It's time to get to our basketball report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca. The Edmonton Stingers are on fire. Another big win that recently over Calgary, 113-90. You look at their scores, 113, 94, 98, 98, 98, 91. That's the only game they've lost since June 13th. And they had another game, 106 points, 93 points. They have been absolutely rolling for the last month since June 10th. And one of the players playing a big part of that, their second leading scorer, Scotty Lindsay, joins us now. Scotty, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
I'm awesome. A little bit of a slower start for your team, but man, you guys have you are reeling right now, Scotty, as one of the major focal points, second leading scorer on the team. What has been your main reason why you think you guys have really started to gel and score so many points?
I think just, connecting as a team. At this point in the season, we've spent a lot of time together. Coming this season to play in the CEBL, we only had a week in training camp to get to know each other's games before we played our first game. And we started out on the road a lot. So I think just now everyone knows each other's games much better. We've been communicating much better. And we all just have a high level of confidence right now. So it's been resulting in some wins for us. So it's been exciting.
Now, understanding kind of how to play, continuity matters in every sport. There's no doubt about it. Maybe what have you learned about, like Sean East obviously is lighting it up offensively for yourself, but, you're second on the team. How do you guys play off one another? What have you learned, that works to allow you to score so much between the two of you?
We just feed off each other. We're usually in practice on the same team. And we know, where we like the ball, where we like to score our spots on the court. And just when each other is in a rhythm, and we know, hey, if this guy if Sean's hot, if I'm hot, get on the ball and let him go. And I think just that understanding comes with a lot of practice, a lot of games, winning and losses. So, and we've had that already happen in this season. So I think, that's why we're so connected right now.
Scott, you're a guy who, it's funny. You talk to a lot of players and everybody's had adversity along the way. Yours kind of came in high school when you broke your leg in a pickup game in a summer recruiting visit to Vanderbilt. Kind of take me back as a young guy, going through that. And what did you learn about yourself going through that broken leg?
Yeah, I mean that was one of a couple different injuries and things that I've had. But yeah, that was a crazy moment. I was a junior in high school, just finished my junior year, and I was having an awesome AAU season. I was getting new offers every day, hearing from new coaches every day, schools that I always wanted to hear from, and I just wanted to go to Vanderbilt and get another offer. And I loved the visit and everything, but I think at that time I'd just been playing so many games. I think in AAU there was one tournament I played 6 games in one day.
What?
And it was just too much.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to that visit, my legs were a little cooked, and I wanted to play and improve myself. And that's just something you learn. You learn your body. You learn when you're tired. Now, obviously, years later, I know how to read situations better and know, like, okay, I'm tired right now, or I feel great right now. But also just teaching me, like you spoke about adversity, things like that are going to happen that are sometimes out of your control. And it's just how you respond to it. And anytime I've had an injury or something like that, I've always just bunkered down and worked really hard to get back. And, I love this game so much, so I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to let something like that stop me from playing. And, it's just built up a great level of resilience in me that I carry with me to this day.
You, of course, you played in the summer league with the Pistons. Then you were the 17th overall pick in the 2021 NBA G League draft by the Windy City Bulls, and that's where you spent some time. You spent some time in Europe. Kind of, basketball. It's obviously incredibly hard. There's so many people that play it now globally, and you look at the NBA rosters, and they're obviously pretty small for the amount of people that are playing it, Scotty. But there's leagues all over now. Obviously, the CBL, this is your 3rd year in the league, so you understand it. You've played in Europe. Kind of, how does the CBL rank as far as style? Is it very different to even the G League, how they play, or even over in Europe?
I think that the CBL stands out a little bit with the Elam because there's no other league that is using that. Okay. And it puts a different type of pressure on actually finishing and winning the game. There have been a couple games this season that if it was no Elam, the Calgary, second Calgary game in Red Deer, for example, like if it's no Elam in that game, we just blow them out. But because it's Elam, it puts a different type of pressure on like finishing the game and there's no clock. Other leagues don't have that type of pressure on ending and finishing a game. So I think that's very interesting. Every game it has a game winner. So you have that moment in every game, and that's different. In terms of style of play, it's somewhat similar to the G League because there are so many G League and NBA players in this league now. So the style of play is similar, but it still has the FIBA rules. So, it's a fusion of a number of different things, but it's extremely fun. It's extremely competitive. I think this has been one of the best years in terms of just strictly talent in the league.
Yep.
So it's been great. It's always fun playing in this league. And, this year I want to be the year that we go ahead and get a championship. So that's what we're eyeing and what we're focused on.
Scotty Lindsay, the Edmonton Stingers, joins us. Winners of 5 in a row, 6 of their last 7 games. Now you head out on a road trip. You mentioned earlier you had a lot of road games. Now you're winning, though. And, you're out you play. You got 1 game this weekend, then you're back, and then you got another. You play on, I think it's the Thursday, and then you play on the Saturday, and then you're back out to your former team, the Sea Bears. Do you feel like your team now is better suited, and you guys will probably have more success on the road because you know each other better?
Yeah, for sure. The road games are always about the camaraderie and just the togetherness of a team. That's really how you win on the road because everyone is against you. Everyone's rooting against you. Usually the environments are hostile. So if your team is together and we're all on the same page, I think that is what helps you win on the road. And just with the way that we're playing right now, I think it's another good test for us. It was great to have that home stand and be at home and win all those games at home, but it's just a good test for us to keep it going and to do it again on the road.
Quickly, give me a little bit of an advanced scouting report, Scotty, coming up on your game this weekend. What do you expect when you head out to the Toronto Pro-Am Sports Center?
Well, we just played Scarborough 2 games ago.
Yep.
And they're a competitive team. They have some guys that can really score and really push the pace. So defensively, we just have to be really locked into the little details and knowing, each guy's tendencies and knowing what they want to do and trying to make it hard for them. And then for ourselves, just keep doing what we've been doing. I think right now everyone knows their role. Everyone is starring in their role. So just to stay in that place, not get out of character and really try to lock in on defense, I think we'll be good for any of these games on the road that are coming up.
Scotty, if anybody's listening and they're going to come to their first ever Stingers game on August 1st, that's your next home game.
Yeah.
What should they watch? What does Scotty Lindsay do best on the court?
What I do best, I think it's just my feel for the game, my confidence, in myself and my abilities that God placed in me. I think whatever I'm doing, I do it confidently, whether it's taking a big shot, making threes, scoring, whether it's guarding other team's best player or going to get rebounds. I think just the confidence and the feel for the game that I have, the love for the game that I have, you can tell when I'm playing. And I think that is a amazing thing to see when you're watching someone who really loves the game, really knows the game, and is committed to helping their team win. I think that's just an amazing thing to see from as a spectator watching the game and watching a team that really wants to win a championship. I think you should always want to watch that type of play.
And lastly, you've been in Edmonton for a while. Have you taken a bike ride in the River Valley yet? Spectacular. Have you done it in Edmonton?
I have not taken a bike ride, but I have been, around the city. Saw fireworks on Canada Day not too long ago. And I really like the nature of Edmonton and being outside. So it's been great. I've appreciated being here so far for sure.
Well, get one of your teammates, go get some bikes and go for a tour in the River Valley. You'll absolutely love it. It's unbelievable. It's the biggest one in North America. Sure. And you can get, just make sure you got a map. Don't want to get lost because it's pretty damn big.
Yeah.
So enjoy that, Scotty, and best of luck on the road in Scarborough this weekend.
Appreciate you guys.
That is Scotty Lindsay, second leading scorer for the red hot Edmonton Stingers. They've won 5 in a row, and they are scoring at will right now. So a lot of points. You just look at their last few games: 113 points against Calgary, 94, 98, 98, 98, 93, 95. Pretty consistent one, becoming one of the top scoring teams in the CEBL. Coming up after 3 o'clock, we're going to get a scouting report on the newest member of the Edmonton Oilers, Ike Howard. Also, his coach at Michigan State, Adam Nightingale. He'll join us at 5:20 today. So if you want to know as much as you can about Ike Howard, definitely stay tuned here to Sports 1440. Ellis is coming up next after a Declan Kruger Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, located right here in West Edmonton Mall in Phase 1. If you want to take your hockey summer training to a new level, on ice, off ice, they got all, and you get a membership for $300, and that can get you up to 18 sessions. It's unbelievable value. But check it out at 01.ca. Only 10. So ZERONE.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
The Toronto Blue Jays 10-game winning streak coming to an end at the hand of the Chicago White Sox. That one just wrapped up 2-1 for Chicago. Other games see the Dodgers leading the Brewers 2-1 in the bottom of the 9th, and the Phillies on the Giants 2-0. That one in the bottom of the 5th. Infielder DJ LeMahieu has been designated for assignment by the New York Yankees. He is owed nearly $22 million on the remainder of his 6-year contract. Oklahoma City Thunder star and Chet Holmgren have agreed to a fully guaranteed 5-year maximum rookie contract extension that could reach $250 million. Other NBA news saw a judge sentence Ben McLemore to more than 8 years in an Oregon State prison today after the former NBA guard was found guilty of raping and sexually assaulting a 21-year-old woman. Other news in the sporting world see the WNBA. The Lynx leading the Mercury 67-60 with 5:09 left in the fourth. Two finals saw the Sun beat the Storm 98-83 and the Valkyries over the Fever 80-61. In Wimbledon, it was Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner advancing to the men's semis today, while it was Belinda Bencic and Iga Swiatek advancing to the women's. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is at the Brick. Get up to $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Convertible fridge freezers start at just $199. Barbecue start at just $299. Get up to 60% off clearance models and below-cost scratch and dent items in-store only. Plus, pay 0% interest on appliances until 2029. Best of all, they'll beat any competitor's advertised price. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tune.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen when I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob. But less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass. Your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Wednesday afternoon. How are you? Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger, Connor Halley will be back next week. Some time off for old young dad. It's good. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hope you are having an awesome Wednesday. We have lots coming up on the show. Stephen Ellis this hour, Tyler Yaremchuk, DVD. We got 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. Speck will be by. And head coach of Michigan State, where Ike Howard, he prefers to be called Ike over Isaac, so we'll call him Ike. I have no problem with that. It's easier name to say. Let's go Ike. So we'll get into that from his head coach. As always, the Gregor Show is presented by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop for live dealer, sports, casino, lottery, instance, you name it, they got it at PlayAlberta.ca. Let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, one of the most diversified electrical contractors in Alberta. Of course, 4 stations they've got: Tag, solar, also looking for service. They can do it all. Your one-stop shop, actionelectrical.net. And if we're going to talk about young prospects, there's very few guys that I feel more comfortable with having on the show than our next guest, who I'm not sure there's anybody actually watches more games than this guy, whether it's on tape, on TV, live, in person. Stephen Ellis from dailyfaceoff.com joins us. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing good. My cat's sitting right over here. She's been watching hockey highlights with me all day, so she's got lots to say specifically about Chicago Blackhawks prospects, which is not very important right now.
Now, do you ever, as a guy who scouts lots, do you ever scout your own goalie games that you play? Like, do you get anybody, like, do you get an independent evaluator? Because I see some videos every time popping up about your goaltending play. I'm curious, have you ever had a scout evaluation? And could you evaluate yourself?
So I could, but I have 2 scouts that I play with, like two actual scouts. So I get a lot of good viewings. I'd say if you had to kind of compare my game to someone, it's somewhere along like Dominic Hasek meets Marty Brodeur meets like Carey Price. Like I'm probably one of the greatest goalies to ever exist. Just I'm waiting for an NHL team to just take a chance on me.
Really, they just missed the boat, eh? They just missed the boat.
They weren't watching random hockey games in Brampton, I guess, on Monday nights. I don't know why.
Now, what's the tape measure at right now for Stephen Ellis?
6 foot. So, I'm not on the higher height side of things. But
whoa. Is that a goalie 6 foot? Is it really 5'11", or is it a legit 6 foot?
No, it's a legit 6 foot.
Oh, okay.
I'm just maybe I get a growth spurt when I hit like 30 or something. Who knows? But like I think like you put me up against any NHL goaltender or any shooter, I think I'm coming on top.
Really? Oh, geez, you got some confidence there. What is it? You're like the Ike Howard of confidence. I like it. And I don't mind Ike Howard's confidence. I thought it was quite funny when he thought, hey, I'm one of the best looking guys in the draft. I should dress well. I thought it was actually a really funny line. Oiler fans were pretty excited about the trade last night. Ike Howard, of course, the Hobey Baker winner, the recent Hobey Baker winners, man. If you just look at that, there's some pretty talented players that have gone on to really good NHL careers, in Fantilli and Celebrini and Makar, and rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau and Jack Eichel, Cale Makar, obviously, but he's a defenseman. Then there's other guys like VC and Adam Gaudette. I'm just going in the last kind of 10, 11 years amongst forwards who, decent NHL players, but not the top end guys. What you look at Ike Howard, I guess, first of all, give me your Stephen Ellis full-fledged scouting report. So if you had to send in a scouting report on Ike Howard, what is it going to say?
Yeah, so I've probably watched him for close to 5 years now at this point. And when he was at the NTDP, the USA Hockey Program, he was just a dominant goal scorer, put up a ton of points. Just the puck seemed to just always go in the net when he was involved. He had some good guys to play with, guys like Logan Cooley, and Seamus Casey was the one setting him up from the point. But I think what was always clear there was his defensive game needed to work, and that's why he didn't get drafted high. And then the first year of college, he goes to University of Minnesota Duluth, doesn't do anything, just struggles. Nothing happens there. Switches to Michigan State. Totally different situation. Last year was more about kind of just getting more confidence with the puck and like proving to himself again he could be that offensive leader. And then he started to shoot a lot more this past year. This was a guy that we really saw just fire a lot of shots home on the power play at the NTDP. And so I really like that there. Like when you look at what he's capable of, he needs a good center to take a lot of the responsibility off of him. Like, he's not going to be good defensively. He's not going to get involved physically. But yeah, give him an opportunity to fire a one-timer home, and he's going to do it as good as anyone else. So that's the real draw there, is the fact that when the puck's on his stick, something typically happens.
So you've watched him for 5 years, and I love that, right? Like, he's entering his 21-year-old season now, and is late developer, is that an accurate term, you think, in my eyes, a little bit? Like, the difference between him at 17 compared to now is maybe significant.
Well, like, he's showing a lot of the signs that we knew he was capable of at 16 and 17 years old, but the consistency when he went to college just wasn't happening there. And he didn't get a lot of good opportunities right off the bat. Like, he really had to prove himself. And it felt like that showing at the World Juniors in Sweden, where everything kind of unlocked some new opportunities. He proved to himself he could score a lot. And then all of a sudden he went back to college and was playing much better hockey. He was playing, like, he's got a lot of speed, but he was harnessing it. He was using that to get into open lanes better. And then this year was just the year where everything really came together. So, like, a lot of scouts expected him to kind of have a big breakout season, but I think they expected it like maybe a year before. And so when you look at that, the over 50 points as a third-year college player, like, that's what you were hoping he would do, and he did it.
Okay. Now, when you look at his game and you see him at, like, the 2 years at Michigan State were obviously infinitely better than the 1 year at Minnesota Duluth. And I actually don't mind when a player has to deal with some adversity. I actually think that helps them when they get to the NHL level, because trust me, there's very few players, hardly like none, that I think have no adversity at the NHL level. And some of them have never had it before, and they don't know how to deal with it. So the fact that he had some, I actually view that as a positive for me. But you look at Howard and his game and how you think it can translate to the NHL next season.
Yeah, like, it's interesting. I don't think he's the guy that would thrive in a checking role. Obviously, I've mentioned he's not really good physically or defensively. Like, I feel like he kind of needs to be in a role where he's supported by guys who can get him the puck. And you look at the Oilers wingers, okay, like, he could play with McDavid, he could play with Draisaitl, but you could say that about pretty much anybody on the team. Any of those guys would want to play with those two guys. If you're not staple to one of those two guys, and you're, let's say, if Adam Henrique, I don't know if being in the NHL is the right move for him. And maybe he goes down to the AHL and just gets more puck touches and plays in a situation where the pressure isn't on as much for him to perform. And that's okay. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you compare him to Sam O'Reilly is like another 3 years away from the NHL. Howard can be playing NHL games in October. Yeah. It's whether or not that's the right move for him. And I'm always on the board of, when it comes to going from college to pro, a bit of time in the AHL is okay, because you still got to learn how to play at a quicker pace. And he's got that speed, but going up against guys who are trying to kill you in the AHL, a bit different than the NCAA, where the guys are more closer to your own age. So I feel like if he doesn't, like, dominate the preseason and doesn't make instant chemistry with either Draisaitl or McDavid, then you look at it and say, okay, well, we don't really want to just put you in a bottom six role, because that's probably not the type of role we want you playing. Go get that ice time in the AHL, kind of like Matthew Savoy last year.
Yes, totally valid, right? Like, it's a young guy, and it doesn't mean this is a lock that he's in the NHL next year. There's a good chance he can be. I was looking at the previous Hobey Baker winners, and all of them went to the NHL as now, not the goaltender and not Perenovich, because he got injured, but every other one went directly to the NHL the next season. And the other thing is, Howard's actually older than most of them, because some of them were, 18, 19-year-olds, and then they came to the NHL at 20. Now he's 21 years of age, so I think that's a benefit for him. He's actually a year younger than a guy like Adam Gaudette was when he came in, and he's the same age as Johnny Gaudreau was. He's not tall, Steve, but he's fairly stout. How do you think he can handle the strength of the NHL right away?
Well, that's the thing, because you watch him you watch him play college, and you would argue that no, like, maybe he wasn't able to handle the physical element of there. And that's why I kind of would like him to go spend some time in the AHL. I'd say, like, his compete level is average at best. There's a lot of times where he's caught just watching the play when you want him to go get physically engaged. And not everyone's going to go out there and start knocking guys down. Like, look at someone like Vasily Podkolzin. Like, he can lay a guy down if he needs to. Probably not going to go out and score a ton of goals, but which you're looking at Isaac Howard, you want him to go out there and score a lot of goals. So he doesn't necessarily need to be physical, but I would like him to get a bit stronger. He does look physically stronger than he did back when he was at the NTDP, and that is something where at the college level, like Gavin McKenna is about to find out, you kind of want to be able to work on just getting stronger, and that's where it felt like he got stronger, but I would like to see some more progress there. And the AHL, in a league where you do get a lot more tough guys, I feel like would be a good spot for him. So I want improvement, I guess, is kind of where I'm going there.
Stephen Ellis joins us from Daily Faceoff. See, my understanding is where him and Tampa Bay kind of, it started to separate after being drafted was he was hoping to turn pro last year, and they felt like, you know what, you're not ready yet, and so he didn't necessarily like that answer. I don't mind that a player feels he's ready, and now obviously he's going to turn pro. We've talked a little bit about being NHL ready, and it's really hard to know until a guy gets there, right? You talked about he plays better with guys who will get him the puck. So is he a guy, though, that's very, like Draisaitl, McDavid, they transport the puck. There's no doubt about that, right? Is he a guy that thrives at finding the soft spots in the zone to get open?
Yeah, like you'll watch him and you'll watch a lot of the highlights, and there's a lot of times where he's kind of just in an open spot. Usually, like he shoots left, but he likes being on the right side, and he can fire those shots. And it's funny, I was looking through my pictures I took of him earlier this season when he was playing for Michigan State, and I had like 5 pictures of him, different points of the game that looked identical of him taking one-timers. So he loves being on that right side, being able to shoot kind of the offside. It works for him very well, but he also gets to the front of the net a lot too, and he, like, if a center says, hey, this is what I want to do, this is where I want you to go, he's going to get there because he's got that footwork to make that work. And he's got that hockey sense where, like, you don't go out there and put up over 50 points in college by accident. Like, he's got to go out there and create those opportunities, because for as good of a team Michigan State was, they're not the most skilled team. So he had to go out there, and whether it be with someone like Charlie Stramel or one of the older guys, like, he had to go out there and create some of those opportunities himself. But when you have someone like McDavid or Draisaitl, they'll do the harder work, and he's going to be the finisher. And I think that's more than enough in a lot of cases for him.
Any similarities at all between how he plays and Matt Savoy plays?
Both of them don't love getting too physically engaged. I could say that. I think both of them they try to exploit that open space. And Savoy, you look at him, and I think with him, maybe a bit quicker. But to be honest, I didn't see as much of Savoy this year as I was hoping to see compared to what I watched him more with the last couple of years. But with him, it's a lot of, I think, more skill, more pure raw skill in Savoy's game, while Howard's more like blistering shots from everywhere. He could shoot from anywhere. He's got the better shot for sure.
Now, you say, is Howard fast or quick?
For a college level, he was rarely will lose a battle trying to get into a race down the ice is what I'm trying to say. He would go out there. He's got good acceleration. He's got good speed. I'd say, like, his skating right now is definitely already above the NHL average overall in terms of speed and fluidity. And he can also skate really well with the puck without getting knocked down.
Okay. So he could come in. Foot speed's not going to be an issue for this guy.
You're not worried about him. Yeah.
No, okay. Now, you talk about the defensive game, and let's be honest, there's lots of offensive guys who come to the NHL and they figure out how to be better defensive, right? They come here, coaches have worked on it a bit, but at the end of the day, you're like, hey, I want to win in junior. I want to win in NCAA, and I got Ike Howard, and he's an elite offensive guy. I'm going to let him be an elite offensive guy. What is it about? Where do you see the areas of his defensive game that can improve?
I think it's just being involved. I know that's kind of a basic answer, but there's a lot of times where it looks like he's watching. If he just skated a few extra steps, he could go out there and try and take a lane away. But I think he knows, being 5'10", if that's what he still is at, like, not a big guy, and he'll struggle against some of the more power forward guys, and he gets shoved down to the perimeter a lot, and will stay there even defensively at some point. So it feels like I want him to go actually chase after guys and force them to make mistakes, because he's got the footwork to make it work. He's got the hands to pull something off. Let's just see him try to execute that at a more consistent pace, because when he was at Michigan State, it felt like he relied a lot on his wingers to go and do a lot of the work. Or when he played with Logan Cooley, like, Cooley was the one doing everything at both ends. It felt like a lot of his time has not been needing to be more defensively responsible. But at the NHL, you're going to get burned.
I was looking at this past season in Michigan, and he had 52 points. His next closest teammate was Dorwart with 31. Like, so he was a guy who, he had, even though he led the team in goals with 26, double everybody else, he also led the team, in goals. He also led the team with the most assists. So he kind of did everything there. He didn't necessarily, did he have a guy who was getting in the puck a lot, or was he just controlling the puck a lot?
He was getting, like, a lot of his points were on the power play. So there's that. And whether it be Charlie Stramel, whether it be Matt Basgall from the point, guys like that, even Maxime Scherbeck, like, he was taking a lot of those one-timers. And you'll see a lot of clips of him on social media of him just kind of being in the right spot at the right time. And it was never really one set guy, but he could do things on the power play. He could do things on the first line. He could do things on the second line. Like, he played with a bunch of different guys and seemed to always make it work.
Steve Ellis joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Steve, I know you do a lot of scouting. Was there any, are there any other young guy? I guess maybe Sam O'Reilly. I know he's leaving, and I don't expect him to be an NHL player this year. So I would assume he's going back to junior. He can't go to NCAA. He's got a contract signed. I said I think Howard has a much higher ceiling, but that O'Reilly has a higher floor. Agree or disagree?
100%. Like, I wouldn't, like, if you ask me who's going to put up more points in the NHL, I'm giving it to Howard. Do I think who might have a slightly better NHL career overall, like maybe even a longer career? Maybe Sam O'Reilly. And it's not a negative against Howard. Just O'Reilly's got that 200-foot game, the defensive game that, like, scouts, their coaches love.
Right.
Like, he's a guy that you could throw into so many different situations. And you look at all the numbers he's put up in London, and he's basically had no power play time in any of that too. So, like, with Easton Cowan and Denver Barkey moving on, like, he'll have some opportunities to really grow his game. But I don't think he's a guy that if you need a goal late in the game, he's someone who could do that. I don't think he's going to go out there and put 50 points up. Like, I think Howard could be a 30-goal, 40-goal guy in the NHL in the right situation. Like, you look at what Zach Hyman was able to do. I'm not saying he's going to be like Zach Hyman putting up the points. They're slightly different players, but Hyman obviously benefited from a lot of the guys he played with. But he also knows how to play with quality players. And I feel like that's someone where Howard's going to be able to do that. He's going to learn to play with quality players, but you're probably not putting him on the penalty kill. You're probably not going to have him play in a tight game. Like, you got a 1-goal lead, you need to go and stop some shots. I don't think he's going to go out there and do that. So they're different players. But definitely if you had to go out there and get a goal right now, Isaac Howard's the guy I'd be picking.
Steve, great rundown, man. As always, we appreciate it. Have yourself an awesome day.
Yeah, thanks so much.
That is Stephen Ellis from dailyfaceoff.com. That guy does a ton of scouting. So pretty good rundown on Ike Howard. And again, I think it's important. I see a lot of people just assuming, the Oilers are going to screw him up if they don't just put him on McDavid's wing and keep him there. Let's pump the brakes. He's still an NHL rookie on a team that's a cup contender. I hope he has an unreal year. That would be awesome. But he's a rookie at pro, and that is a massive jump. Now, he's going to have the advantage because if he's in Edmonton, I think he's going to play in the top 6. Otherwise, you put him in the American League, play against men, and you know what? Just let him build his confidence, get a ton of puck touches. I don't think it'd be a bad thing at all. So we'll see where it goes. I don't think it's a lock that he's on the opening night roster for the Edmonton Oilers. Like, I don't think it's a lock. There's a good chance, but I definitely don't think it's a lock. Quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Coming up next, later on this hour, we got Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning. Also, Yaremchuk, Derek Van Diest on a busy Wednesday edition of the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You have a choice, and it's a hard one. GMC employee pricing or 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick. A hard choice, but also super awesome. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra lineup, from the Sierra half-ton to the heavy duties. If you have cash, get discounts over $12,000 on many of our Sierras, along with GMC pricing. Or choose 0% financing on our Sierra half-ton lineup. And what a great selection of GMC terrains and fabulous Buick SUVs to pick from. So many choices. But one thing's for sure, you are getting the best deal at Wolf GMC Buick.
When you look at a pipe, you just see a pipe. But at GS Construction, we know it's not just a pipe. It's the future water flowing to a growing family's home, or the sewer line for a new school. At GS Construction, we know every trench we dig connects people to what matters. And if you'd like to be part of that vision of making a better future, we're hiring. Right now, GS Construction is looking for experienced foremen to join our team. So apply today at gsconstruction.ca. GS Construction. Underground, with purpose.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, it's just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
The dog days of summer means baseball. Every weekend, Sports 1440 carries Toronto Blue Jays ball games. Ben Shulman will have the call. Grab a cold one and tune in this weekend to Blue Jays baseball on Sports 1440.
Back by popular demand, the Operation 36 Junior Golf Program at Cattail Crossing Golf Club. Designed for kids ages 5 through 17. It combines instruction and on-course play, focusing on technique, strategy, and course management. Taught by certified CPGA pros. Only $325 for 4 weeks of instruction, plus 4 9-hole rounds of golf. Operation 36, Wednesdays 5:30 till 7:30 p.m. through August. Register at cattailcrossing.ca. Click on Junior Program or call 780-973-6686.
Ease joint pain and support healthy skin with NACA Platinum Pro Collagen, marine or bovine in caps or powder. Plus, fuel your workouts with NACA Platinum Pro BCAA caps. Find these and other NACA products at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is July 8th and 9th.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's next public unreserved automotive RV auction is Saturday at 9 a.m. Featuring vehicles from Alberta government surplus, City of Calgary, counties, municipalities, utility companies, and private consigners, all sold to the highest internet bidder. View on site, bid online. Info at maauctions.com.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's next public unreserved internet automotive RV auction is Saturday at 9 a.m. Featuring pickups, cars, minivans, SUVs, and recreational vehicles selling at 10 a.m. All being sold to the highest internet bidder. View on site, bid online. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Use the promo code Gregor and get 20% off your order. All day, every day. Use promo code Gregor before entering your order at papajohns.ca.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Man, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I love that song. I'm a huge fan of that song. Oh, God. It's got a good beat to it. Woo. Might have to get that in the rotation more. It's the beater. I like it. I like a little upbeat songs in the show. So high five of that song, Deck. As I don't know if the kids still call it a banger. That might be a little outdated, but I don't know what they're calling it. But either way, I like that song. It's kind of like how just kind of a little bit of a crescendo at times, builds up to it. Woo. It's good. Deck, are you a fan of that song, or do you just play random songs?
That was purposeful.
Okay.
I was saying to Donovan during the break, like Kelly Clarkson, man, hate to admit it, but
oh, dude, she's got a set of pipes, man. Are you kidding me?
Breakaway?
She can sing like
Waterworks.
She doesn't know her own song sometimes. I saw that video that I don't know. There's some game where they play a snippet of a song, and it was her songs, and the guest was beating her at it. That would be a little bit of a kick in the junk. Do you know who sings this? No, I don't. It's yourself.
That's almost like a testament to you, though, that you've got so many hits that you
maybe.
can't name your own songs.
Or she probably wasn't thinking they would use one of her songs. So maybe
That's
she was
probably
correct.
what it was.
That might have been it, but it was still a classic. I quite liked it. Anyway, let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton, where the Discovery Days sales event is continuing on for one more month. And man, the deals, they just keep getting better. If you're looking for a great ride at Volvo Cars Edmonton, go online, check it out. But you can lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid for 1.49% and save an additional $7,500, but only till the end of the month at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff joins us. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Greg's. Thankfully, the Oilers gave us something to talk about. It was starting to maybe get like a little thin, and then bang, a little transaction to get everyone's juices flowing.
Oh, yeah. The Ike Howard, Sam O'Reilly trade. What do you make of it?
I like it. I mean, listen, they're both good prospects. Like, I thought it was funny how many people were now just willing to cast O'Reilly to the side. Like, oh, he was never going to be anything more than a third line center, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, first off, Ike Howard is also not a sure thing by any means. I know he comes in with a lot of hype, but like Sam O'Reilly was a good prospect, but the Oilers sat here and looked at an opportunity to bring in a young player who can hopefully potentially contribute next season and maybe play a role in their top 9. And if this bet works out, it's going to be a guy who can fill potentially a pretty important role for you for the next who knows how long. Like if this goes as well as some people hope it does, or if Isaac Howard lives up to his potential, this is a guy who could be an Oiler for the remainder of Connor McDavid's career. I know that sounds crazy, but again, a couple of contracts in, if he's a bona fide 25-30 goal guy, like he fills a really, really important need for this team. So again, I like Sam O'Reilly. It's a relatively steep price to pay, but you're still getting someone who can grow with this team and who can give you valuable years on an ELC. It's just someone who can hopefully do it starting next fall versus, maybe the fall of 26 or 27 in O'Reilly's case.
Yeah, I do think a lot of people are like, oh, he's an automatic lock. And we just had Stephen Ellis on the show, and Steve's like, hey, let's pump the brakes here, guys. Like, he's 21 years of age, coming out of college, and it's a big jump. Now, I'm not saying he can't do it. I went back all the way to since 2014, and Hobey Baker winners for forwards. Well, actually, even defensemen, except Scott Prenovich because he got hurt. But every other Hobey Baker player did go directly to the NHL. Now, they obviously had different levels of success. Lots of them had pretty good rookie years. So I look at Ike Howard, and I think people like, if Ike Howard scored 35 to 40 points as a rookie, that's a good rookie season. I think people, if he's going to be here, you at least have to have realistic expectations. Hey, maybe he could, knock it out of the park and do what Macklin Celebrini did. But Macklin Celebrini also got, 20 minutes of ice time and is playing on the first unit power play. Howard, I don't think is going to be on the first unit power play in Edmonton.
No, Liam and I were talking today on our show that, you're losing 16 goals from Jeff Skinner and 14 from Victor Arvidsson. If you get a combined 30 goals from Matt Savoy and Ike Howard, that's probably a pretty good little baseline in terms of expectation. Like, I don't think they're just going to, both come in and be stapled next to McDavid and Draisaitl and play the whole year in the NHL and 25 goals each, and it's the future right in front of us. Like, no, there's going to be some growing pains. And while I say that, I also kind of hope that the coaching staff is okay with those growing pains. Like, if you're going to go this direction and you're going to try to get, younger on the fly, if you will, where you're bringing these young pieces into your lineup, you're hoping they contribute in their early 20s, give you value. Like, you also have to be okay with them making some mistakes on some nights. And I really hope we don't get to a point where it's, November and Savoy's playing 9 minutes on the fourth line because of whatever reason. Like, I do hope the coaching staff understands that it's about getting these guys ready to be contributors when it matters most, not necessarily, winning every game in November, if you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's totally fair. Well, see, that's the interesting thing about Howard and Savoy. Are both of them going to be here? You throw in Andrew Mangiapane. Then there's David Tomasek. Like, I know David Tomasek's 29. Everyone's like, youth. I'm like, David Tomasek played in the, Swedish Elite League. He's played against men. And, I don't think he's coming over here just to, gift wrap guys their chance, and he'll just quietly go away. Suddenly the Oilers, like if you look at from 10 days ago, their forward competitive nature and who's going to be on the team and who's competing, it's a lot more competitive now. And that's a great thing. I hope Ike Howard comes in and blows the doors off. Good for him. It'd be a great story. The Oilers, they haven't had a real productive rookie in quite some time. So that would be great. But the fact of the matter is, Andrew Mangiapane, this guy is, the GM at his press conference said, hey, we see him in the top 6, right? So I know Zach Hyman's a top 6 player. And if you think Nugent Hopkins is a top 6 player, well, that's only one other role as a top 6 player. So there's going to be some great competition. I'm kind of fascinated to see how it plays out. And I do believe who's ever on the opening day roster, it's probably kind of irrelevant because by game 10 or game 20, it's going to change.
Pretty sure Derek Ryan made the opening day roster last year for the Edmonton Oilers, and then he was, didn't even factor into anything come playoff time. So you're bang on. Like what happens in October, it has no bearing on how they're going to be lining up for the first game after the trade deadline or the first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But having that kind of competition is good. And again, hopefully it's a bit of a shot at even guys like Kapanen, who I know he just signed, but like Kapanen, Janmark, Podkolzin, like if you come into camp and you aren't at your best and you're not contributing and you're not doing things right, well, the Oilers have a forward group that, what are we calling it, 15 players deep? Are we including Max Jones and Quinn Hudson? I'm really not, but Noah Philp would make it 15. Those other 2 guys I mentioned would make it 17. Like there's so many guys you could see like a path of, all right, if they come in and have a great camp and they look good, they can absolutely steal one of those jobs, even if it's the 13th forward job or whatever. But there's a lot of internal competition here, and that's what good organizations do. And I love that the Oilers were able to keep that level of competition and also get a little bit younger, because there is a part of this, if Connor McDavid extends, which again, we're all expecting him to, where Stan Bowman needs to keep this team as competitive as he can year after year, but like win next year, yes. Make sure you can still be competitive and you're not just a bunch of 39-year-olds in year 4, 5, and 6 of whenever McDavid signs. Like that's a whole nother thing. Zach Hyman's 33, turning 34 whenever he does. Nuge is 32, turning 33. Like they don't have 8 years left of being the players that they are. And if you have dreams of contending for the 8 years of Leon's extension and however long Connor extends for, you need guys in years 4, 5, and 6 of that who can be in their primes and can be productive teammates for them.
Yeah. Well, and then you look, the truth of the matter is the NHL playoffs are different. Everybody knows it. The game gets harder. The game gets tougher. Do you think next season in the playoffs, the Oilers going to have Mangiapane, Howard, and Savoy in their top 9? If they're going to go to the Cup final, I would argue no, they can't.
I think it depends on kind of who's around them. Like, you also don't just need a bunch of really big bodies. Like, am I okay with Mangiapane if he's on a third line with Trent Frederick and someone else who's got some physical edge? Then I think maybe it could work. I think Matt Savoy does a really good job forcing turnovers, and he plays really, really quick. If you put him with Draisaitl and maybe like a Podkolzin on the other side, that line still gives you something physically. I get what you're saying. Like, it'd be tough to envision a world where all of these young players are in the top 6 and contributing come playoff time. But again, that's all the more reason for this coaching staff to give them honest looks in the first 55, 60 games. So, by the deadline, okay, do we need to add more physical bite? Do we need to go out and get someone on the market and add them to the forward group, or can you focus on other areas? Like, I just really want to see these young players, and I would even include Noah Philp. I know he's not 22, 23, but like, give him a good, honest look as your 4th line center and see what he can do, just so you have answers to these questions by the deadline.
Oh, well, I think they will look at them for sure. I just, when you look at teams that have won, not only size, but then you just look at experience. There's not a lot of rookies on conference final teams. That's just, ones who play a lot anyway. Now, Carolina did have 2, so it's possible. Yes, I'm just saying historically, lately in the NHL, it's hard, man, because the playoffs are just tougher. It's harder physically. It's harder mentally. There's a lot of things that go into it. And so I think the order is this trade isn't just about this year. And I get a sense that some people think that Ike Howard's going to come in and maybe he'll be great and he'll blow the doors off. Maybe. But do I think Ike Howard and Savoy and Mangiapane are all going to be in the top 9 come playoff time? I'm going to say at this stage, unlikely.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, maybe it's even just about when you get to that point, give it like Brandon Hagel, that first year he was with the Lightning and they went to the Stanley Cup final. I think they won that year in 21-22, but he played all 23 games of that playoff run. He was 22 years old. And again, he's got a bit more size. He plays a totally different style than those two guys. But again, the idea that you can't go get a 21, 22-year-old and have one of them contributing come playoff time, like, I don't know. The other thing is the Oilers are a little bit more unique in the sense that you have a top six with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Maybe you can have one of them stapled up in your top six and they'll just be scoring you goals, helping you play with a little bit of pace. But yeah, I mean, I know you have all the numbers on the traditional or the last couple of years and how little rookies have contributed. But again, the Oilers need to try walk that line of like, yes, we want to win a Stanley Cup next year, but we need good players in 3-4 years. And the only way to get guys like that is to give them experience.
Yeah, no, I think I think the Oilers did really well in the trade. I'm going to err on the side of caution on Ike Howard, and I'm not sold that Ike Howard is going to start the season in Edmonton. I won't be surprised at all if he ends up having 20, 25 games in the American League and then comes up during the season, and I don't think that'll be a problem at all.
No, and I don't think people should be banging their fists on the table saying, oh, it's a failure. What did they do? Whatever, when it happens. Like, I loved the way they handled the Matt Savoy thing last year. Like, from the get-go, I think, Colin Chalk, was he not on your show the day of the trade or the day after? And he said, like, oh, he's coming to Bakersfield and, we're going to develop him down here for a bit. Like, they went out of their way, it seemed like, to throw some cold water on the expectations for the hometown kid coming over and the big trade being what it was. Like, again, if they need to slow play Ike Howard a little bit, absolutely slow play him. And again, goes right back. This conversation can loop into the depth. Like, it's not like your top six is starved for talent if Ike Howard's not there. You can still put together, go to Daily Faceoff, look at the little jerseys. You can put together a very good lineup without Howard. And you could probably argue you could put together a decent lineup without Savoy as well. Let these guys develop, do things the right way. And remember that, again, you're getting Howard for what he can do in your lineup 3-4 years from now, not, again, 6 months from now.
Quickly, your thoughts on the Jays, Ty? Tough loss today. The streak ends at 10. They just couldn't. It's a rare game where they couldn't punch guys in runners and scoring position. But the Jays have been absolutely on fire here for the last 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. And they're doing it with, like, a lot of things are going their way. Ernie Clement's batting above 300. They throw their backup catcher, Tyler Heineman, in, and every time they do, he goes like 1 for 4 or 2 for 4. It's unreal. The pitching staff, a guy like Eric Lauer has stepped up, and he was good today, even though they lost. But then you also kind of look and, like, Bo Bichette was hurt for a little bit. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is not having a very good month. In fact, he's having a pretty poor month. Anthony Santander has been an absolute zero for them. Like, there are still some areas where you're like, oh, that could get better and that could get better. And I'm saying that in the sense of, like, even if a Springer cools off and Clement cools off and a couple of things that are going so well right now, even if those start to come back down to the norm, you might see a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. heater at some point, a Bo Bichette heater at some point. Like, there's reason to believe this team, it might not look the same way it's looking right now, but they can keep winning ball games down the stretch. And I mean, anytime you rattle off 10 in a row at the exact same time that the Yankees and Rays slide, like, this isn't a team that's half a game up now on the Yankees. They got a 3-game lead on New York. Like, I don't know. It's just great. It's so nice to see the excitement back around the team. The vibes are unreal. People are starting to buy in again and starting, even like my casual baseball friends are starting to be like, oh man, watch the game last night. Watch the game last night. It's just more fun to be a sports fan in the summer when the Jays are good.
Yeah, it's very true. Ty, always good to catch up with you, buddy. Have yourself an awesome day.
See you, Greggs.
That's Ty Yaremchuk from Owners Nation and Daily Face Off. Take a quick break. We got lots of texts coming in. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We'll get to lots of those when we return. Your thoughts on Ike Howard? Where do you come out? Like, do you think Howard, like, man, we're all over the map, which is great. There's varying degrees of opinions on what Howard might or might not do with the Oilers this upcoming season. We'll look into it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 Sports to choose from with great packages, including the Night Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Ease joint pain and support healthy skin with NACA Platinum Pro Collagen, marine or bovine in caps or powder. Plus, fuel your workouts with NACA Platinum Pro BCAA caps. Find these and other NACA products at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is July 8th and 9th.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Did you wake up this morning and think, I want to be a used RV salesman? If you're like most people, the answer is no. But if you want to sell your quality used RV yourself, then a used RV salesman is what you are.
Welcome to your new job.
That's right, Bob. Put it up on all the best websites. Wait for the phone to ring and be ready day or night, weekday or weekend. Drive out to the storage lot for every random tire kicker who calls and hope that what you have is exactly what they want.
There's an easier way to do this, Rick.
That's right, Bob. You could bring it to No Bull RV. We love selling used RVs, and the customers are already here. Commercials like this bring them in by the hundreds. All you need to do is cash the check when it leaves our lot. Used RV salesman is not what you wanted to be when you woke up this morning. And if it was, well, I think you better come out here and apply for a job.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at Cantork.com.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3.50 on a Wednesday afternoon. Hope you are having a lovely day. 833-401-1440. Got a lot of texts. Also, lots in the chat on YouTube. So we'll get to all of those questions. McDougast asks, "Hey Gregor, which forward do you see being moved out after this acquisition?" It's a good question, because you're outlining the fact that the orders, if you go through the forwards now, and you see the fact that they've got. Well, you can make an argument that, there's 16 forwards. Now, some of them obviously don't have any. Matt Savoy's played very limited NHL games. Ike Howard has played none. David Tomasek has played none. And Jones hasn't been a regular in the NHL for a bit. So, yes, they do have, obviously, McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Henrique, Frederick, Mangiapane, like those Vasily Podkolzin. And I think those 8 are like for sure's. Those 8 are in. I think the coach, like I would put Matthias Janmark. I know some people can be like, what are you talking about? You still have to kill penalties. Right? Connor Brown's gone. Matthias Janmark is a very smart, reliable player. Coaches like guys, they know exactly what they get. You're not going to get a ton of offense from him. If he's on your fourth line, you're like, can he kill penalties and not get dominated 5-on-5? That's what you're going to look for. So, Janmark, I definitely think is a guy that they have interested in. So then you've got Kasperi Kapanen. You've got David Tomasek, Matt Savoy, Ike Howard, Noah Philp, Curtis Lazar. Right? Max Jones, he's probably the 16th forward, I would think, at this stage. But, like, if Max Jones comes in and just hits everything that moves for 2 weeks in preseason on a team that doesn't have a lot of size and physicality, that might open the coach's eyes, right? Like, if you're Max Jones, to me, he better get noticed in preseason. If Max Jones can't afford to not get noticed in preseason, he just can't, right? Other guys can. Like, let's be honest. Podkolzin, Frederick, like, they can afford it. Jones, he can't afford it. So I don't know if they would move anyone, because they might be worried about, well, we're going to have to send some guys to the minors who have to clear waivers, potentially, if it's not Howard and Savoy. Well, if we lose one, well, now if we trade one before, now we're down 2. You want some depth. So I don't know if they will make anybody moved. Hey, Gregor, I'd start Howard in the A if he doesn't win a top 6 role, from Gusto. Hey, Gregor, Howard could flop. I side with the show me what you do well. As long as he works hard and has skills, he will do fine. From Fuzzy. Well, yeah. I don't know. There's guys who work hard who maybe don't work smart, and then they don't last. So yeah, most guys are going to work. Like, I'll be honest, I kind of cringe a little bit at the work hard. What does work hard mean? Like, when I hear parents yell at their 10, 11, 12-year-olds, work hard. At what? What are we talking about here? Work hard at getting the puck out off the boards. Work hard at winning a face-off. What? Like, be specific. You can't work hard. It's too general. So it's like, work hard at what? Right? I kind of cringe at that. I'll be honest. I think it's, I rarely will look at a play. Okay, guys, let's work hard tonight. Like, what? I don't know. You have to focus on specific things. Okay, what do we? Let's really, like, if your team is struggling at connecting passes, then guess what? You work on connecting passes in practice. Right? Work on pressure. We want to be a team that pressures the puck. Let's start there, because work hard should be a given. Right? And it's hard to even quantify it. It's like, go after the puck. That's what I was like. Pressure, pressure, pressure. To me, that's what it's about. So I don't know. When someone says, "Oh, just work hard," I think it's too general, and I don't think it's specific enough to any one thing. And it leaves your player probably with more questions than it does answers. Hey guys, I look at Howard, and I'm curious, because they traded him for O'Reilly, who wasn't expected to be in Edmonton this year. I feel there's less pressure to have to play him. From Alex. Alex, I think that's a very valid point. Right? You're bringing in Ike Howard, and again, you want youth in your organization. You totally do. But you want youth in your organization that can contribute. Not just like everyone's, oh, the Oilers are the oldest team in the league. Yeah, but like, what were they? What was their average age? I think like 30.6. And there was like 12 teams who were at 30.1 or higher. Like, we're talking 0.1 to 0.6. Like, come on. Right? So, and Derek Ryan was on the roster. He didn't really play many minutes. And obviously with his age, that put you up probably 0.2 more than you should have been. So, Perry gone, Ryan gone. Obviously, the Oilers will be younger regardless. But it's funny. You'll move those guys out, and what will their average age? Will it lose more than 1 year on average? Because keep in mind, they lost those guys. All their other guys, McDavid's a year older, Draisaitl a year older, Nurse a year older, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, all those other guys. Right? A lot of their core guys are in their 30s or late 20s. So even with, let's say you put in Howard and Savoy in your lineup, what if David Tomasek makes your lineup? He doesn't actually qualify as an NHL rookie, but he's 29 years of age. So I don't, getting younger is nice. Getting a little bit quicker, beneficial, no doubt. But ultimately, the Oilers, you want players that can help them win in the playoffs. That's what they're looking for. And I don't think it's a must that Ike Howard in his first year has to be that guy. I'm trying to temper expectations because right now, reading the text line and online, so like some Oilers fans are talking like this guy's going to score 30 goals. Let's pump the brakes. Even people, no, I only need him to score 18 to 20. Do you know how hard it is to score 18 or 20 goals in the NHL? Like, just look at the guys who played top 6 with in the Edmonton Oilers last year. How many of them scored 18 to 20 goals? Now, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins did, and that was with a late surge. Corey Perry did, and that was like completely unexpected. And then Draisaitl and McDavid, who are obvious, and Zach Hyman. So really, you had one guy outside of their big 4 forwards score 18 to 20 goals. And people are acting like, well, Ike Howard should just score 18 to 20. Like, it's no big deal. God, I hope he does. But I think you got to have more realistic expectations. It's hard to score in the NHL. Like, really hard. And it doesn't matter. Yes, you play with McDavid and Draisaitl, and that can be a benefit. I understand it. But it doesn't mean that it just equates to instant success. We saw it last year with veteran players. Right? It's damn hard. Like, I'm looking in the NHL. Do you know how many rookies scored 18 goals last year? 6. Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini. Macklin Celebrini played basically 20 minutes a night. Right? He had 8 power play goals. Will Smith had 12 power play goals. No, 12 power play points. 5 power play goals. So that means he had 13. Well, is Howard going to get you 5 power play goals? Now, I will say this. I think the Oilers' second unit power play is going to see more power play time. So I think there will be more opportunities on the second unit. But is he going to get 5? Like, that's a big ass, man. Like, Zach Balduke had 19, but he had 7 power play goals. Michkov, Celebrini, each had 26 and 25. Each had 8 power play goals. So if we're looking if we're talking a guy who comes in Edmonton, not going to get a ton of power play time. So let's give him like 1, 2 power play goals. So that means he has to get 16 even strength goals. Well, now you're down to 4 forwards who did that last year. Celebrini, Marco Kasper, Matvey Michkov, and Cutter Gauthier. It's hard. It's hard to score a lot of goals as a rookie. I hope he does, but I think some might be jumping the gun. Hey, Gregor, he's 21, not 18. Yeah, you're right. But how old was Cutter Gauthier last year? Well, he a 20-year-old. I guess he turned 21 in January. Right? Marco Kasper, 21. So, yeah, you're right. And Celebrini didn't do it, but it's still hard, right? Like, there's lots of other rookies who are 21 and didn't do it. I just think people need to be realistic, because what's going to happen is, because right now I already see it. Well, if they don't play him 16 minutes a night, you haven't even seen the player play. And now you're mad because an NHL coach isn't going to play him 60 minutes a night. Like, it's just not realistic. Right? Hey, Gregor, I can't help but think that Howard sounds like Robbie Shrimp. I don't think so on that. I think that's different. I always try to, get to scouts who are neutral on the case. And both I talked to said they feel there's no doubt in their minds that Howard is going to be an NHL player, and they actually like this trade from an Edmonton perspective. But both I talked to said they weren't sure if he's ready to be an NHLer right out of training camp. And I think that's okay. That's all. Right? These are people that see him all the time. They don't just see the status. They don't just see, well, Edmonton needs youth. Those are 2 very different things. 2 very different things. Also, Shrimp didn't skate as well as Howard. So I think that's a little bit different. Let's get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. Get a hiring bonus, matching RSPs, very competitive wage, even tuition reimbursement. Learn more, legacyheating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Blue Jays' 10-game win streak comes to an end at the hand of the Chicago White Sox. That one finishes up 2-1. Brewers over the Dodgers 3-2 in 10 earlier today. And 2 games in action right now. Phillies lead the Giants 11-0 at the top of the 8th. Rays lead the Tigers 2-0. 3 finals from the WNBA was the Sun over the Storm 93-83. Valkyries over the Fever 80-61. Mercury beating the Lynx 79-71. In Wimbledon today, 6-seed Novak Djokovic and 1-seed Jannik Sinner advanced to the men's semifinals. While in the women's draw, it was Belinda Bencic and Iga Swiatek advancing. News around the sporting world is infielder DJ LeMay, who has been designated for assignment by the Yankees. He is owed nearly $22 million on the remainder of his 6-year contract that runs through 2026. OKC Thunder and Chet Holmgren have agreed to a fully guaranteed 5-year maximum rookie contract extension that could reach $250 million. And a judge sentenced Ben McLemore to more than 8 years in an Oregon State prison today after the former NBA guard was found guilty of raping and sexually assaulting a 21-year-old woman. The Edmonton Riverhawks in local ball action are in Bellingham tonight, taking on the Bells. The West Coast League All-Stars were announced today with 4 Riverhawks making the team. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Oodle Noodle Origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cock-pure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle. You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk. Elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Your Edmonton Elks face the BC Lions this Sunday at 5. Join the prehistoric party presented by Brewers. We're bringing back the Dino Nuggets at concession, Baby Dinosaur Crawl, and bigger, better T-Rex Combine at halftime. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, this just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
For all things golf carts, it's the Golf Cart People. Their certified techs provide expert service from maintenance to custom upgrades. Customers can explore the sales floor for new and used Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go models. The Golf Cart People stock a wide variety of parts and accessories to keep every ride in top shape and offer convenient rentals for tournaments, weddings, and festivals. Trusted for sales, service, parts, accessories, and rentals since 1997. Visit the Golf Cart People at golfcartpeople.com, your complete golf cart solution.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta. DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden. Rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
He's Alberta's sports authority and lead touchdown winner of his family's backyard flag football games. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
No, isn't going to NCAA. Braden Coots just signed a 3-year entry-level contract with the Vancouver Canucks. So that's the easiest way for you to know if a player is going to go to NCAA or not. Because if you have an NHL contract, you are ineligible to play in NCAA. I know a lot of people think that everybody's going to go there because of Gavin McKenna. Some will, no question about it. We've already seen it. Koreshny, many others, and there'll be others. There's no doubt about it in my mind. But there'll be others who opt to want to stay in the NHL, in the CHL, and you know what? This will be more competition. That's really kind of how I see it, and we'll see where it goes from there. But to me, never a bad thing to have competition, whether it's internal, like the Edmonton Oilers suddenly have lots of competition at the offensive position in the forward group. See where it goes. It is the Gregor Show, is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50 and get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca. Geez, I got to look to see. They probably don't have it up yet, but I like if Play Alberta could do it right now on season predictions, I think based on the text line, there'd be lots of people picking Howard to score more than 17 goals this season. So if they had a 17.5 line, I think many of you would take the over. It's summertime. You're thinking positive. I can understand it. You'd rather think positive than negative. I get it. I totally get it. 17 goals, that would still be a really good rookie season. I know some people act like 17 goals is kind of ho-hum schmucky, but it's still pretty darn good. Really good. Like the Oilers were a top, I think they ended up 9th actually at the end of the season, because McDavid and Draisaitl missed the last 3 weeks of the year for the most part. But, prior to that injury, the Oilers were like a top 7 scoring team in the league, and they still only had 5 guys score, 5 forwards score more than 18 goals. Like, it's hard. Let's talk some hockey as Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joins us. DVD, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Jason. How you doing today?
Oh, just living the dream, man. Living the dream. This will be our last hit with you this summer, because I know you going to Chile? You going anywhere this summer?
I'm not sure yet. I'm laying low for a little bit. Just I'm not sure if I plan a trip or not. I was eyeing maybe a quick trip to Europe because I like the fact that there's that KLM flight that takes us straight to Amsterdam. So you can get to Europe pretty quick. So I don't know. I was thinking about that, but we'll see how it happens. We'll see how the summer plays out.
Because don't you plan a lot of your summer around maybe like summer soccer matches that you can see?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it depends, but most of the summer soccer is already happening. The Club World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup is wrapping up. I think they're playing the Women's European Championships right now. So, it'll be interesting to see. But I'm kind of considering it, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens this summer.
What was your initial impressions and thoughts of the Howard for O'Reilly trade?
Well, I thought it was a pretty good deal for the Oilers, to be honest with you. This is a situation, I think, that Howard, it sounded like he wasn't going to sign in Tampa Bay. Sometimes these college kids want some sort of guarantee that if they come out of school, they're not going to end up in the American Hockey League and they're going to end up in the NHL. And if a team is not ready to guarantee that or guarantee them a spot, then I think that becomes a bit of an issue. And they figure, well, you know what, I'll go back to college, back to university, play another year there, and then maybe I can go play wherever I want after that. If you don't sign with the team that drafted you. So I think that might have been a situation there. And then Tampa's looking at this saying, well, we can kind of cut bait here and get another prospect, a good young prospect to come in here. And I think it works for the Oilers because I think Isaac Howard is a couple of years ahead in his development than Sam O'Reilly is. So you get a guy that you think is ready to jump into the league, is ready to play. And the Oilers are in win now mode. So they're not looking for a good prospect 3 or 4 years down the line. They're looking for a guy that can come in, step in, and take a job right now. And I think, this is the best player in college hockey last year, and he thinks he's ready to step in. He's a confident young man. He had a great season. He accomplished all he could accomplish on a personal level at the NCAA level. So he's going to come up here and get a chance to play with McDavid and Draisaitl. He was pretty excited about that when we talked to him about that today. So I think it's a good move. I think it's a situation where the Oilers get a good player that's a couple years ahead of development than the player that they let go. In the long run, did they let go a better player? Time will tell. But they're getting a pretty good offensive player in Isaac Howard coming in here.
What was your biggest takeaway in speaking with Howard?
Just, I guess, how excited he was to come here. How excited he was to play in Edmonton and in Canada. And I think, you get a lot of these U.S. college kids that would rather play in the United States. They would rather go play somewhere closer to home or play somewhere in the U.S. So, that's always kind of they say that's kind of an issue when you bring in American guys and then you don't have success in Canada, that they want out. And I think he was really excited about that prospect. And, people are already penciling him in here to play in the top 6 with Draisaitl or McDavid. And I think he's looking at that as well and saying, you know what, these guys can really make me a much better player. They can really teach me about the game. They can really teach me about the pro game. And I just think that this is a kid that wants to win, and he sees the opportunity that the Oilers have to win, and he wants to fit in. So, yeah, he was really, really excited when he was told that Edmonton was a possibility. He said that he talked to the Oilers brass, and he said he was really excited about that possibility. So, yeah, he's looking forward to coming here. He's looking forward to playing here. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And it's a tough jump from the NCAA to NHL. We've seen guys try to make it in the past. Justin Schultz coming up here in Edmonton trying to make that jump, and other guys trying to make that jump. It's not easy to do. But when you're the best player in college hockey last year, then you have something going for you. So I think confidence has been an issue with this young man. As I don't know if you saw him at the draft a couple years ago. He's wearing the white suit with the American flag belt buckle, and he had a laugh and talking about feeling good, feeling confident, looking good. So I think people will come and just this personality alone, he'll be a fan favorite here in the room.
You look at at the orders now, and if you're fun trying to do a depth chart, do you see Nugent Hopkins and Howard as your top 6 left wingers, or is it Mangiapane? Like, where do you see, is Nugent Hopkins your third line center? Like I said before Howard, I would have had Henrique as my first line left winger over Nugent Hopkins, because I've seen Nugent Hopkins there for 2 years. He's just not a productive guy 5-on-5, and I like his speed more at the third line center spot. So. This addition of Howard just gives him another left winger. Not saying that, he's a rookie and he's going to stick all year long now, but to me, I would have Nugent Hopkins as my third line center. What about you?
No, I think that's the plan. I think they do want to have him as the third line center. I think they feel that Nugent Hopkins can drive his own line if you give him good enough, wingers. Obviously, he's up there. He can play on the wing on your top lines, but I think. Yeah, just the responsibility. And I think Nugent Hopkins, you look at that, we get McDavid and Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins carrying their own lines. And, that's pretty good. And he's going to have some pretty good line mates with him. So I think that is the plan originally. Obviously, it all kind of, we'll wait and see what happens. But, yeah, I wouldn't have an issue if Ryan Nugent Hopkins was your third line center playing with a couple of really good wingers. I think, it's funny because the Oilers took a hit losing, four legit NHL forwards, and now they're going to try and replace them with some guys that they hope can come in here and step in and do a good job. But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens next year up front. But yeah, I would be very comfortable if I saw Ryan Nugent Hopkins as your third line center.
Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joins us. Do you think the Oilers are done? Or do you see, other potential moves Stan Bowman might look at? Do you think they add a goalie, or do you think they're like, we know the coaches are obviously still to be announced, and we know there's a new goalie coach who reported that. I think there might be another new. We know there's going to be a new Glenn Gulletson for sure, and I think there might be another new coach to that staff. To be honest.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff now is the thing to work on. And also, they want to work on an extension for Chris Knobloch, right? Like, he's going to go in there in his last year of his contract. Stan Bowman already talked about that, saying, yes, we want to extend Chris Knobloch for however long they want to extend him for. If they offer him another 3-year deal or 5-year deal, I'm not sure. But I do think Chris Knobloch's going to have, obviously, a big say in who his assistant coaches are going to be. They've trusted him enough, and I think he's going to go out there and try and find people that he trusts and he knows really well, and maybe there's some coaches out there that deserve an opportunity at this level, and he got the opportunity at this level, so I'm sure there's other coaches like them around there. But as far as player-wise, I think they're done. I think this was the last move. They saw this opportunity was presented for them, and they took advantage of this opportunity. I think they'll be happy with the way they're going into the season. And I think they have some cap room. If you need something else, I know the fans want another goalie in here, but I think they're prepared to just go the way they've started, go with what they have right now, and then just work through the season and see what works and what doesn't work. And if you have to make in-season adjustments, I think Stan Bowman will be able to do that. But I think this summer, as far as signings and trades and moves, I think that's it for the Edmonton Oilers.
Looking at the coaches DVD, we know that the goalie coach is going to be replaced. Mark Stewart, Paul Coffey. Do you see them returning?
Paul Coffey will be the big one, right? Because Paul Coffey, I think he was supposed to be just a stopgap guy. I know I've talked to him a few times, and he said, he didn't want to coach. He didn't want the position. I know you were probably at that press conference when they introduced him, and he basically said that. He's like, I don't want to be the coach, but I just wanted to help out and see what happens. I'm not sure if he'll come back or not. I'm not sure if he feels that, I was here, we went to Stu Talent Cup finals, and I feel like I got to do something else, or if the Oilers throw, the thing is with Paul Coffey, he doesn't need the money. Like, he's got his business with his businesses. He doesn't do things for the money. He does things because he wants to do them, because, whatever his motivations are, it's not about money. So I don't think it's the Oilers can just keep throwing money at him and saying, come back. So I think that's the big one here. I think they're going to sit down and talk to him and say, do you want to be behind the bench again? Do you want to do that grind? Did you enjoy it? Or maybe you want another position within the team. Like, he is kind of an advisor to Daryl Cates. So I think that'll be the first thing that happens. And then Mark Stewart did a good job. I don't see why they wouldn't bring him back unless Chris Knobloch says, you know what, I want my own staff. I want to bring in my own people, but I thought he did a good job. And I think Chris Knobloch, he talked about Mark Stewart, the job that he had been doing on the coaching staff. So that's going to be an interesting one as well, whether there's other opportunities out there for him. Who knows? Staffs are starting to get filled up now. So, but yeah, Paul Coffey's the big question mark, and I think he may not even know if he wants to come back yet or not. I think he might be just evaluating his options and seeing what's going on with that.
Yeah, if you ask me to say right now, I would say new goalie coach, new offensive coach, new defensive coach, and I think Mark Stewart will be the one returning. That's if you had to tell me, I got to put it on the line today. That's where my line is. So
no, that makes a lot of sense. And obviously Dustin Short's not coming back. I've known Dustin Short for a lot of years, and he's a bit of a lightning rod here. Obviously they blame the goalie coach for the goalie's performance, and then he doesn't get the credit when the goalies play well. So I think he's been a little bit of a lightning rod here. But he might need a change of scenery as well. Who knows what his situation is? He might need to go somewhere else and kind of get out of the fire for a little bit, because it's a tough position playing goal, and it's a tough position being the goalie coach if things aren't going well. So yeah, he's taking a lot of fire for an assistant coach. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they bring in here, and it's going to be someone that Stuart Skinner wants to work with, and Calvin Pickard wants to work with, or if they bring another guy that he wants to work with him. So there's got to be a good relationship there But obviously there was a good relationship because, Dustin Schwartz was around for as long as he was. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And, getting someone to replace Glenn Gullickson, that's going to be tough. Just all the things that Glenn Gullickson did for this organization and the mind. But to me, Chris Knobloch is the guy. Like, there's different types of people. There's the guys that surround themselves with people that are smarter than they are, or there's guys that surround themselves with people that they think they're smarter than. To me, it seems like Chris Knobloch is a guy that he wants smart people around him. He wants the smartest coaching staff around him. He wants input from other players, other coaches and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about the assistants they'll bring in. I think they'll bring in some really, really good assistants, really smart guys to help them out.
DVD, great, man. Great stuff all year long. We really appreciate you joining us. Have a good summer, and we will talk to you in the fall.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on. We'll see you then.
It's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Let's take a quick break. We'll return. We got the 2-minute warning coming up, 5 questions, and we got lots of your thoughts. Text line is really humming today, 833-401-1440 on Howard. Your thoughts on the coaches. Speaking of coaches, Adam Nightingale is the head coach of Michigan State, where Ike Howard played. He will join us at 5:20 on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable, call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Ease joint pain and support healthy skin with NACA Platinum Pro Collagen, marine or bovine in caps or powder. Plus, fuel your workouts with NACA Platinum Pro BCAA caps. Find these and other NACA products at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is July 8th and 9th.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Need the perfect ride? The golf cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Alberta is already the economic engine of Canada, but we could be so much more prosperous if Ottawa would work with us, rather than attack our economy and jobs. The status quo needs to change, but how? The Alberta Next panel wants to hear from you on how we can best strengthen Alberta's sovereignty and position within a united Canada. Please visit alberta.ca/next and tell us what you think Alberta's next step should be. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games, Riverhawks games, and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocksyag.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
'27. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. The Carey's golf tournament finally end. Might have set a record. Can't wait to talk to him about that. That might be one of the record longest golf tournaments in history this year. So, congrats to Carey's and all. They raised a lot of money though for great charity, which is fantastic with the Easter seals. So it's awesome. Awesome stuff. Now, speaking of awesome, Cam Tate become a good contributor on the show. It's time for another edition of the 2-Minute Warning, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Of course, Cam born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. And due to his disability, was never able to be on radio until now. With the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-Minute Warning.
There is really no sound like it. That whiff of the ball, and then it's booming thud on the court. You know, tennis. And that sound is ringing around televisions as the crown jewel of tennis, Wimbledon, plays out until next week. In looking at Wimbledon's schedule, something caught my eye. Wheelchair tennis. Now, Gregor, I think you would agree the ethical, journalistic thing to do is to find out about the players involved, their history, their games, sets, and ultimately match. And that will come. But for right now, as the 9th day of the 7th month of the year, there has to be something truly celebrated. Truly. Wheelchair tennis started in 1976 and grew in popularity. Say, over there, Declan Kruger, do you, with your pristine, that's right, pristine sports knowledge, what the only, you understand, rule change from able-bodied tennis and wheelchair tennis? Any idea? The only, do we say that? Rule change is in the wheelchair game, players are allowed 2 bouncy wouncies compared to 1. And one more nugget, 1986. That's when yellow tennis balls, we're talking yellow now, yellow tennis balls, research showed yellow tennis balls were easier for television viewers. Question, but that isn't what we're whistling Dixie. By the way, who the hell is Dixie? Okay, sorry. Okay, since 2005, 20 years ago now, wheelchair tennis, it's been a part of Wimbledon. Not as a demonstration sport, not as an entertainment during matches, not in the tennis courts miles away from the All England Tennis Club, over there, you know, on Church Street, but with other tennis players included. Not a showcase, it's great. Hey, International Olympic Committee, did you hear that? The provincial government is clawing back a $200 benefit from the federal government to people on AISH. I have a petition on X. My handle is @CamTate. Please consider signing it. 2-Minute Warning, Tater, Gregor, Kruger, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sports, 1440.
It's great stuff, Tater. Bouncy wouncy. It's awesome. But it is, I would challenge most able-bodied people to try to play tennis in a wheelchair, and you'd see how hard it is. I remember the first time I played sledge hockey. Like ridiculous. Not only was it hard, but it was infinitely more physical than I expect. And those little like stick pegs that they had when you're in the ice, like, and I was talking to some of the players in the national team, like, you want to be a cheap shot artist. You've got like almost 2 little knives in your hands. And he's like, oh yeah, no joke. There's like, just like in anything, right? You play hockey, there's a few cheap shot artists. So that to me was a huge eye-opening moment. So, tennis, I would automatically assume. First of all, tennis just as an able-bodied person is hard enough. Like, how many times can you amongst your friends even get a rally going of more than 4 hits? Honestly, right? It ain't that easy. You put yourself in a wheelchair, and it's going to be, I would think, much different. So, attaboy Tater. I love it. Love it. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, pretty sure it's a bad question. I'm positive it is. And I know the answer. We're going to ask you anyway. What about Jay Woodcroft as an assistant coach from Nick? Well, Nick, the reason the answer is no is because he is an assistant coach with the Anaheim Ducks. Joe Quenneville added him to his staff. That was announced, I think, on July 1st. Maybe even before that, actually, but the contract didn't kick in until July 1st. But no, he's there. Guys we've talked about on my understanding, when you look at when the Oilers fill out their coaching staff, there's going to be obviously a new goalie coach, and my understanding is they might be down to 2 finalists: Pete Aubry, Sylvain Rodri. I know those guys. Those are the 2 names I've gotten confirmed 100%. I know they've reached out to some other people, but I think they're fairly down the process in that. And I think those are 2 of the front runners. There might be one other one, but I know those 2 for sure are strong candidates for the goalie coach job. Then what is Chris Knoblauch going to have an assistant with former NHL head coaching experience? Lots of coaching staffs have that. Not all, but a lot. Now, there isn't, Jay Woodcroft's name just came up. He's hired in Anaheim. Dave Hackstall was a name. He had connections to Knoblauch. He just got hired in Colorado. So he goes off the list. So then you look at, like, there's some guys with experience, but they've been head coaches for so long. I'd be surprised if Peter Laviolette, Pete DeBoer, those type of names, are they going to be an assistant coach? I guess never say never, but we're talking, I think it's harder, when you've done it for 15, 20 consecutive years to suddenly go be an assistant. If you were a head coach for 1 or 2 seasons, now you just want to get back in the flow, I could see it being a little bit different. You mean a head coach for that long? John Tortorella. Now, he was an assistant coach for 7, maybe 8 years before he became a head coach. But would he go back there? Here's the thing, though. If I'm Chris Knoblauch, I wouldn't sell myself short on the amount of people that would want to come here. Because as a coach, A, you want an opportunity to win. B, you have an opportunity to coach great players. Not many places give you that opportunity. Gregor, what about Todd Nelson? Also just hired as an assistant coach in the NHL. He was hired by, God, I want to say is he on the Capitals or it might be the Capitals, right? I think maybe the Islanders, one of the 2. He just got hired as well as an assistant coach. And like that guy, maybe, no, you know what? I think he's in Pittsburgh. That's where he is. He's in Pittsburgh. So, and it's kind of surprising when you look at who they hired as the head coach. I would make an argument that Todd Nelson should be the head coach. Like, look at the success he's had in the American League. Like, this guy, all he does is win. That's all he does is win as a coach. Everywhere else has never really had a chance in the NHL. Rocky Thompson, he is a head coach in the American Hockey League. I know he was actually one who was interviewed for the head coaching job of the Edmonton Oil Kings. There were 3 or 4 finalists. He was one of them. But A lot of them were waiting to see what would happen in the American League, and he got the head coaching job in the Islanders organization for their AHL affiliate. So there you go. Good questions. Lots of them coming in on the coaches, but yes, former Order coaches, Todd Nelson, NHL, Jay Woodcroft, NHL, Rocky Thompson, head coach in the American Hockey League. Hey, guys, in the past, the Oilers always seem to take a step or two backward after a coaching change, and I attribute that to the team needing to learn a whole new system. I agree this is time for a change in the goalie coach position. To further think they need to build a goalie department. Just worried that too many changes could backfire. What do you think? Great show as always, Brian. Well, I guess I'll go this way, Brian. When Jay Woodcroft took over, the Oilers went on fire. When Chris Knobloch took over, they were on fire. So the last two coaching changes have worked incredibly well for the Edmonton Oilers. And it wasn't just Chris Knobloch. It was also Paul Coffey. They came in, and Chris Knobloch has the most wins, regular season and Stanley Cup playoffs combined, of any coach since he was hired in the entire league. So I don't think that they've struggled right away. Now, the goalie coach, it's interesting, Silva, if it is Silva and Rodrigue, now he obviously has a connection. Stuart Skinner, they've worked together in the minors before. So, you have that. Now, Pete Aubry has worked, not necessarily with the Order goalies, but he worked in the organization with Stan Bowman. So there's a connection there. He would know his personality, everything. And I'm telling you, you're going in the interview as a goalie coach. You're going in there prepared. You have all, I would think, your breakdowns on what you would do working with Skinner, working with Pickard. I don't know. It doesn't sound like they're going to get a full-fledged goalie department going, but you would still, like, how am I going to work with Kelly Gard in the American League, right? How are you going to work with your goalie scout? Like, what would be your plan of attack? And I might come in and say, hey, this would be what I would want, and this is where I think the department should go. If I'm coming in there, man, I don't want a shrinking violet in a job application. I want someone who's confident, but more importantly, has a plan, is outlined how they're going to make the plan work, right? That would be, to me, that would be very wise. And that's what I would do if I was in that position. And I say that because most of them do it, right? Like you go in there, your philosophy on coaching is one thing for sure, but just you're going to look at some film and be prepared, because they're going to ask you about Stuart Skinner. How could they not? Right? It would be ridiculous for them not to do it. So I would be stunned if they didn't. Hey, Gregor, what about Dallas Aikens? He is coaching in Mannheim in Germany. Well, at least I'm pretty sure he is. I know that's where he was last year, and I'm 99% certain that he re-upped. I could double check it, but that's where he's coaching. Hey, Gregor, if the Oilers were on fire, why'd the coaches get smoked? Paxa. Well, the head coach didn't. Glenn Gulletson, my man, he got hired as a head coach for another organization. He wasn't going to get fired. He just got a job somewhere else. Now, Dustin Schwartz has been in the organization for 11 years. It felt like it's time for a change. I get it, right? It's been an area where they probably want a little improvement. Combination of both. Could be the goalie, could be the system, could be the goalie coach. Probably all different type of percentage. But, yeah, keep in mind, Glenn Gulletson would be going nowhere if the Oilers didn't grant permission for him to go get interviewed by the Dallas Stars. And he interviewed very well, and he got the job, funny enough, by the gentleman who very briefly in his tenure, when Glenn Gulletson was the head coach in Dallas back in 2012, 2013, at the end of the 2013 season, well, Joe Newendike had gotten let go, his GM. New GM was Jim Nill. And Jim Nill, very quickly, and I talked to Glenn Gulletson about that. He told me the story, how basically Jim Nill called him up and said, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to bring you back in the office. I'm either going to hire you to an extension or I'm going to let you go. And talk about being upfront and honest. At least you're not twisting in the wind. That's what you want. And he elected to go in a different direction at the time. It wasn't anything personal. It's just, he felt like, hey. So he obviously, it's not from a lack of respect. He just felt at that time, you want to do it. Now, many years later, what has he won? The GM of the year 3 years in a row, which I still don't understand. But anyway, not that he's done a bad job, but I don't think what he did last year was, I know he got Rantanen. It's a pretty big trade. Don't get me wrong. But that Jones-Marchand trades, they seem to be pretty good too. But either way, I would look at Glenn Gulletson as somebody who's kept his name out there by being successful. And think, if you want to be a head coach, there's not many places that offer a better assistant / associate coach, whatever term they're going to give them, than here in Edmonton. We'll come back with 5 questions next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, Gregor, what about Craig McTavish while you're going through? You know where Mac T is? He was actually out at the Belvedere today. I saw him. Mac T is he's obviously doing TV for the Oilers, but I think Mac T, last time I talked to him, he's like, you know what, man, I had an unbelievable run. But as a coach, I don't expect to see a Mac T coming out of retirement. So now he's just focusing on golf. I didn't see his game, so I can't comment if he's been focusing good enough on it or not. But that's where he's focused now, as it should be. He had an unbelievable career, both as a player, coach, GM, scout, everything. Quick break. We'll come back. Gregor Show, Sports 14.
Ease joint pain and support healthy skin with NACA Platinum Pro Collagen, marine or bovine in caps or powder. Plus, fuel your workouts with NACA Platinum Pro BCAA caps. Find these and other NACA products at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is July 8th and 9th.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is at the Brick. Get up to $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Convertible fridge freezers start at just $199. Barbecues start at just $299. Get up to 60% off clearance models and below cost scratch and dent items in store only. Plus, pay 0% interest on appliances until 2029. Best of all, they'll beat any competitor's advertised price. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Your Edmonton Elks face the BC Lions this Sunday at 5. Join the prehistoric party presented by Payworks. We're bringing back the Dino Nuggets at concession, baby dinosaur crawl, and bigger, better T-Rex combine at halftime. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, it's just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Alberta is already the economic engine of Canada, but we could be so much more prosperous if Ottawa would work with us, rather than attack our economy and jobs. The status quo needs to change, but how? The Alberta Next panel wants to hear from you on how we can best strengthen Alberta's sovereignty and position within a united Canada. Please visit alberta.ca/next and tell us what you think Alberta's next step should be. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, Culligan
He's Alberta's sports authority and lead touchdown winner of his family's backyard flag football games. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Back. Oh, that's like Oilers fans. You know what? They make a trade. They got you right back in love again. Right? If all of a sudden you're, I'm not excited. Oh, I cowered. Now I'm excited. That's what happens as a sports fan. You get back in pretty quickly. All right? Guarantee you have your friends. You got your group chats going on. What do you think I did? And you know what? It should be normally like there's always going to be somebody who tries to, okay, but somebody's going to say, I think he's going to score 35 goals. Oh, yeah, I'll score 35. Great. Now, realistically, that would be unbelievable. But rookie goal scorers, I think the only guy to score 35 goals as a rookie, I know Matthews had 40. I'm just trying to think like in the last decade. Did any other rookie score more than 35 goals? I don't think so, but other than Austin Matthews, I'll have to see. It ain't easy. Tell you that. It is not easy. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us in our email inbox. No, Patrick Laine. Two guys in the same draft. 40 for Matthews, 36 for Laine. Kyle Connor had 30. And how about Dominique Kubalik? A little bit older, but he's the other rookie in the last decade to score 30 plus goals. So if you're having a real high bar of expectations, that would be it. Now you could go back to McDavid's rookie year. Artemi Panarin, considered a rookie. He was a little bit older. So probably, not the same. But Matthews and Laine, boom. 40 goals is hard, man. 35 goals. Hell, 30 is hard. Right? You get to 25. Even difficult. There's Macklin Celebrini did it last year, so which is good. And he missed some games, but he also played like 20 minutes a night. So I'm looking, Austin Matthews actually made the playoffs. I think the Jets made no, the Jets didn't. Yes, the Jets did make the playoffs that season. Panarin came in 2016 and they did not make the playoffs. Kubalik did not make the playoffs. Brock Besser, no. DeBrincat, no. So there's the thing. Like if you're to be on a playoff, that'd be a better question. How many guys on a playoff bound team? Because I think the Oilers are playoff bound. Can you score that many as a rookie? Not many guys get to play with Draisaitl or McDavid, potentially. So that will help. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Canada's biggest appliance sale is on now. Buy more, save more on select major kitchen appliances with the hottest brands. The best deal, go in store. You can get up to 60% off clearance appliances just because I got a scratch or a dent. Telling you, usually like the dent somewhere, like when you have a stove, the dent could be on the side. No one ever sees the side of your stove. It's an unreal deal. Get it at The Brick, only in store.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. We've talked about Isaac Howard a lot today, or Ike Howard. We're going to talk to his old head coach in the next hour. If it was up to you, where would he be in this lineup, if at all, as a staple for the 25-26 season?
Well, he wouldn't be a staple anywhere because he's a rookie, and very few rookies just have a real smooth sailing season. Number one, if he starts the season in Edmonton, he's in my top 6. Otherwise, I'd have him in the American League, and I would have no problems doing it. None. I know maybe I could squeeze him in the top 9. I guess I could make room for that, but I'm a big believer. Offensive players thrive on confidence. Puck touches, confidence. I want to maintain that as high as I can. That's why I'll strongly disagree when someone tells, going back to June, there's nothing to learn. Yeah, there is. Because you know what? You can unlearn confidence. And if you don't have that, it's hard to succeed.
Question number 2, Frank on Kevin's show yesterday said, I do think, this is his quote, I do think at varying points there's been some conversation around Ilya Sorokin. So if you had to put together a mutually agreeable trade, what would that trade look like?
What would it look like? Well, obviously it's going to be Stuart Skinner. There's $8 million coming back, so you're going to have to put in something significant. Like you'd probably have to put in Matt Savoy. You put in Skinner, and now I'm trying to think. Well, the Oilers don't have a ton of forwards that make money, so that's kind of their challenge. So they don't really need a defenseman. Ooh, that's a good question, but I guess Adam Henrique. But he has to agree to it, which he probably wouldn't at that point. It's like, wait a sec, we're getting Sorokin. Why the hell am I moving out now? So I think it'd be really hard to make. Also, I don't think there's any chance it happens.
Question number 3, the OKC Thunder have signed Chet Holmgren to their 5-year, $250 million rookie max extension. They just gave SGA his max that he was eligible for, apparently Jalen Williams. And the team now also have momentum towards a rookie max deal. So being a young team, they just won, but now a lot of money tied up in these 3. How many titles can they win?
Ooh. That's crazy, the money in the NBA. And kudos to SGA. He could have waited because he has 1 year contract left. He could have waited and then made even more, which is mind blowing because he's making $285 million over 5 years. Like,
he left like $95 million on the table.
Yeah, because when you make that much money at that point, it's irrelevant. He probably wants to stay competitive. So I'm gonna say, they got Lou Dort, like they got a young team. If they don't have any serious injuries, I'm gonna say they can win at least 2 more in the next. So in 5 years, they could have 3 championships.
Okay. Question number 4.
What about you?
Yeah, it's tough. Like they have so many guys who are so valuable to that roster. And I don't want to say they're replaceable because they're very valuable to that roster and they just help the roster win a championship. But they're certainly more replaceable than those 3 guys you got to pay. And I think Sam Pratt, like he's a phenomenal GM. So I do think he can find the pieces. I would say this team could win, like 3 and 6 years, maybe just to give a little bit of room for error. But I like that 3 and I like the timeline.
Yeah.
Question number 4, who is a player in whatever sport that was never very good, but you just always really loved?
Go ahead.
A couple for me, Steve Novak. Because I was wet with him. Yeah, I was wet with him in NBA 2K13. Just
Steve Novak.
Strokes. He averaged like 5 points a game for his career, but I was cold with him.
All right.
Roscoe Parrish, who was never really a good wide receiver, but he was a big reason I became a fan of the Bills. Fred Jackson as well, if you remember him. He was there for like ever, but he only had 1,000-yard season. And then Naz Muhammad. I'll throw him out there as well. Big rebounder for the Bulls. Played 17 years in the NBA somehow. He was terrible, but
17?
Yeah, 99 to 2016. Won a championship with the Spurs 1 year, but was just not, again, a guy, he averaged like 6 points a game for his career as well. 4 rebounds as like a 6'11" center.
Really?
Yeah.
That is it's pretty good. I have a few different ones. One of my now this was a guy who was one of my favorites because it depends. Like there's certain guys you cover. Ralph Staten, to me, it was an absolute beauty. Probably one of the greatest voice of any player I've ever covered. Like so deep. Like that guy should have been doing voiceovers. I'm telling you right now, it was unbelievable. But he was a decent player, but obviously didn't last that long. So he would be one. I'm going back to my Hartford Whalers days, and he made it's Hartford Whalers had they didn't have a lot of great players here. Let's call a spade here, right? It wasn't like but they had they had a few players that I was huge fans of. Peter Labby, oh God, why am I forgetting his name right now? Oh my God, that's embarrassing. What's Pete's last name? Tough guy. Wasn't that tough, but I love, oh my God. But I'll go Torrey Robertson. He was the other tough guy, and he fought like everybody. Wasn't even that tough, but he fought everybody all the time. Why am I forgetting Pete's last name? God, gotta look it up during the break. That's brutal. But I'll go with Torrey Robertson. And you know who I always thought was Willie Lidstrom was the other one. I don't know why. Willie Lidstrom was the name. Probably because and it was funny because he came to Edmonton for a very short period of time, but as a kid, the Willie Lidstrom Winnipeg Jets OPC hockey card, I don't know if it was in like every second case I ever had, but I had like 1,000 of his hockey. Like they were not worth nothing. But Willie Lidstrom would be the other one, only because of how many hockey cards of his I had, and they were great in the spokes of my bike.
Question number 5: The Amazing Race Canada returned last night. Which game or reality show do you think you could win?
Oh God. I might have to say none. Like I don't really like reality shows, so I don't think I would do well at it. The only one I would have liked to have gone on was Survivor, because that's the first one I watched and I quite liked the show. And you're like, oh, but any of the other ones, no. I don't think I would. I don't have the patience to do Amazing Race. I guess the one maybe would have been Fear Factor, because like eating gross food doesn't really bother me. It's just like, you know what? Tried a few things as a farm kid, so I'm like, I could get by with that. Like snakes, I'm not scared of snakes. If you have to stand in like a pit of non-poisonous snakes, like, yeah, it's gross, but it's not like I'm not fearful. Like I know I'm not going to die. They're not going to put you on a TV show where you can actually get hurt. It's just gross. So I think maybe that one, maybe only because I had prairie oysters once. So I feel if I had a prairie oyster, I could eat anything.
All right, I like it.
What about you?
The Bachelorette.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. But I think The Amazing Race. I actually do. The Amazing Race, I think, would be my pick.
Oh my God. First of all, okay, Bachelorette. Okay, I heard it wrong, because you're like, so you'd be one of the guys up against the all of them. I thought you meant like the Bachelor. I'm like, you're the only guy. That would have been the better answer.
Well, like the concept of the Bachelorette is so crazy if you think about it. Like it's like if I went up to a girl, I was like, hey, I'm gonna take me, you, 30 other dudes, put us all in a house, and you're still gonna want me. Like that is crazy confidence. Shout out to all those guys. But no, I choose The Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race. All right, I can get behind it. I can see why a lot of people are intrigued by that one, right? Because you want to see, hey, I think I can read a map. You know, I can figure things out. That would be good. I'm kind of hey, Greg's Pat Hughes only because of his 5-goal game. I could see that. Especially because it was when Pat Hughes scored 5 goals in the game. It was when Gretzky and Curry, or Gretzky and Messi anyway, 2 of them were out of the game. And Pat Hughes had to step up. That's what makes his 5-goal game unbelievable. It would have been like look at down the stretch last year. McDavid and Draisaitl were in the lineup, and, you know, Connor Brown had a few like goal games. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. Imagine having a 5-goaler without them. Right? Peter Sidorkovich, thank you. God. There we go. Appreciate it. Can't believe I forgot his last name. That's terrible. It's kind of had a forgettable career, but that's how it goes. Remember, like, how many people remember Don Beaupre? Remember, he had like the terrible mask. Like those are the masks of the 80s. He was another guy. Like I just think of certain hockey cards, and obviously they weren't great. Like they just pumped out the hockey cards of the same bad players, right? Like Don Lever. I'll never forget Don Lever as the Colorado Rockies. For goodness sakes. I'm like, why do I always get this card? I don't understand it. I don't get it. And he played there for like 1 year. That was the worst part about it. Played there 1 year. And man, that 1981, 1982 hockey card collection, like I think he must have been the most popular guy. Brutal. Or I just had the worst luck. God, I had a lot of those. A lot of them. 5 o'clock when we come back, Mark Spector. Also, if you want to get a really good insight into Ike Howard, you're going to want to listen. Adam Nightingale, his head coach from Michigan State, will join us this next hour after a Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. This summer, elevate your game with 01 Hockeyology, weekly themes, real-life drills, personalized plans, and more. And how about you just do a membership? It's membership for $300 a month, and you get like 18 sessions. It's an unbelievable deal. Do the math in your head. 300 divided by 18. Yeah, that's right. It's really good. Check it out, 01.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Chicago White Sox beat the Blue Jays 2-1, and their 10-game win streak came to an end earlier today out at Wright Field. It was the Phillies over the Giants 13-0, and the Brewers over the Dodgers 3-2 in extras as well. Just one game right now sees the Rays lead the Tigers 6-3. 3 WNBA finals saw the Sun over the Storm 93-83. Valkyries beat the Fever 80-61, and the Mercury beat the Lynx 79-71. There is one more WNBA game today, 6 p.m., Chicago and Dallas. In Wimbledon, Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner both making the semifinals in the men's draw, while Belinda Bencic and Iga Swiatek making it in the women's. News around the sporting world from today is infielder DJ LeMahieu has been designated for assignment by the New York Yankees. He is owed nearly $22 million on the remainder of his 6-year contract. The NFL and senior leaders of the NFLPA struck an unusual confidentiality agreement that hid the details of an arbitration decision from players, including a finding that league executives had urged team owners to reduce player compensation. It was PSG over Madrid 4-0 to reach the FIFA Club World Cup final, where they will play Chelsea, and the Edmonton Riverhawks are in action tonight in Bellingham, taking on the Bells. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free Radio Player app and listen wherever you go.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
The dog days of summer means baseball. Every weekend, Sports 1440 carries Toronto Blue Jays ball games. Ben Shulman will have the call. Grab a cold one and tune in this weekend to Blue Jays baseball on Sports 1440.
Ease joint pain and support healthy skin with NACA Platinum Pro Collagen, marine or bovine in caps or powder. Plus, fuel your workouts with NACA Platinum Pro BCAA caps. Find these and other NACA products at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is July 8th and 9th.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
Keeping your grass looking trimmed and beautiful all summer is a breeze with Toro in the Lawnmower Hospital. Head in and see a wide variety of residential walk-behind gas and battery mowers with personal pace, easy starting, and with Smart Stow, saving up to 70% more room when storing. For bigger properties, try the Toro Titan with My Ride suspension. Financing available. See lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Get your quote now at japamachinery.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Man, Declan Kruger is just playing all the Guilty Pleasure songs today. Loving it. Welcome back to a Wednesday afternoon, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. A little bit cooler out there today than yesterday. And, you know, I'll take it a little, although I'll take another day of 30 degrees. We don't get them very often. So let's pump them out. Pump them out. Speaking of pumping it out, well, guess what? If you win playalbertas.ca, the Lotto Max, $70 million on Friday. Oh, you know what? Maybe you're like, that's too much. I'll just do the Lotto of 649 tonight, $18 million. Check it out at playalberta.ca as we get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. I saw their fearless leader, Taran Sandwith. He was in town golfing today. And, you know, spry, bright as ever, and they are hiring. So if you want to work for a fantastic company that loves sports, gsconstruction.ca. They're all about teamwork. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. Fun day at the Carriers tournament today.
Yeah. How did you shoot?
I didn't shoot, but I putted pretty well.
What, is your shoulder bugging you or what? You're
no,
not golfing?
I kind of wrecked my wrist up a little bit, but just it's not very bad. Just happened 2 nights ago. I couldn't swing a club, but I did my short game and helped where I could, and filled the divots for the boys and made sure the drink girl came by and all that stuff. You got to help where you can.
It's true. Yeah, got to be a team player. Nothing wrong with that. So there you go. Geez, you're getting old, eh? Now you can't even play in charity golf tournaments because you're ailing in the summertime.
It's sad, isn't it?
I love it. Love it. The Ike Howard Sam O'Reilly trade came down last night.
Yes.
What are your expectations for him this season?
A lot less than what I'm seeing out there, for sure. This is very typical of a young, hot prospect lands in your town, and people think, "Oh man, this guy's going to play in the first line, and it's going to be great." And you know what? I sort of feel like under expect, and if he overproduces, then it's a bonus. But putting him in a position where he's on your first line in his first professional games, to me, is setting a young player up with expectations that are very difficult to meet. Don't set him up for failure. I know he's a Hobie Baker winner and he's a really good player, but this is a million steps up from the NCAA, man. It's not even close to the same hockey. So temper your expectations. And if I'm the Oilers, let's make sure you put this guy in a position where he can succeed.
Yeah, well, and I can understand, and he's going to join us tomorrow on the show, by the way, for anybody. So Ike Howard will be on the show tomorrow in the first hour.
Good.
His head coach at Michigan State's coming up right after you, Spec. So we'll get a good insight to him as a player. Obviously had an excellent year, won the Hobie Baker. And, history says he's got a pretty good chance of being a good player. But a lot of the Hobie Baker guys, when they come out, they're on teams that aren't very good. Now, that's the advantage. He gets to play in a good team right away. And, I think he'll be given opportunities for sure. It is he's probably happy. This is the final year of 8 preseason games. So for a young player, probably maybe even easier because you're going to get 4, 5, 6 games to show what you're worth, where after that, you might get 3 at the most.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I think one of the things I like is there's really competition among the Oilers forwards now, especially the young ones. Like Matt Savoy isn't just getting handed a job here, and he's got a year in the AHL and a really good year under his belt, but he's going to have to perform to play for this team, and that's good. Never any situation where young players who haven't accomplished anything yet are just handed jobs. It's never good. It is never good for the team or the player. So the Oilers have manufactured a situation here where guys like Noah Philp, they're going to have to work their butt off to make the team. Ike Howard's going to have to work his butt off. And we should take this one step further now. He didn't want to play for Tampa. The word on the street was he wanted to play in the NHL, and they wouldn't make him that promise. Do we think Stan Bowman's made him that promise, Jay?
Well, I heard it was that, he wanted to turn pro, and they were like, well, sure. But yeah, maybe it was going to the AHL or not. But that's a good question. Like, I've talked to a lot of agents, and we actually asked Rich on the show on the Business of Sports once, and he said he's never had a client where they guaranteed them NHL time. Mm-hmm. So you might say, hey, we'll give you every opportunity, but never where it's being like 100% guaranteed. Now, can it be hinted at? Sure, I'm guessing, but the organization will never come out and say, we gave this guy guarantee that he was going to do it. Obviously, they're not going to say that, right? Doesn't mean it can't happen. So it is something like if he, to me, when it's so obvious if a player isn't ready and he's still there, right? But I haven't seen that many. I've seen cases where you're like, okay, the guy's playing and he's kind of struggling, but other guys are struggling because your team isn't very good. We've seen lots of that. right? Like it's rare to see a player that's so clearly not ready, yet they kept them around.
Yeah, the biggest difference here is usually the best hot young player coming in is joining a bottom feeder team. This is a very rare occasion where this kid's coming up and he's a hot prospect, man. This is a really good, I think it's a great grab by Stan Bowman. He's young. Look at the list of Hobey Baker winners, Jason. Like there's a ton of good players, man, that won Hobey Bakers. Oh boy. So that's worth something like that. You don't win that by mistake. So this is different. Trying to make this team, this is a win now team. You can't look Connor McDavid in the eye and say, yeah, we're wasting a forward spot on a guy who shouldn't be here because we made him some promise back in August, right? That ain't going to happen.
No.
So I'm going to make the sort of leap that he's coming here to compete for a job. And if he doesn't make the team, he's satisfied with going to Baco and working his way up. And that's the way it should be. There should be no giving jobs away at the NHL level. No one ever gave me a job that I didn't earn. And most of the listeners out there, it's the same for them. There's no reason he should just walk in the door and be an NHL player. He's got to play like one.
Yeah. And I think he's just looking forward to the opportunity. And you know, it's funny, if he wanted to turn pro last year, and I get it, I'll tell you right now, going back, and him gaining all that confidence and getting a little bit stronger, I'm a firm believer there's never a negative by getting a little bit more development time.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. No question about that. And again, if he went back there and absolutely killed it at Michigan State and won the Hobey Baker. I don't know the kid from Adam, but I suspect if we asked him today, do you think it was a good idea to go back? He'd say, oh yeah, it was a good idea to go back. So listen, he's being handled well. I mean, I know kids want to play right away. I guess I'm a little nervous because I've got so much respect for the Tampa organization. I don't know how a guy doesn't want to play for them. They do everything right. Julian Breezebaugh is an excellent GM. They're a good team for a long time, but stuff happens. He lands here in Edmonton, and I'm sure the Oilers are very happy to have him.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've heard from a few people that around the league, and other people think that the Tampa Bay Lightning organization's gotten a little bit arrogant in some people's eyes, right? So it kind of all depends on who you listen to and if you're the right person. And hey, you know what, Speck? There's some people. I was golfing today, and they're saying, you know what, Speck's a really nice guy, but people tell me he's a jerk. So you know what? Everybody has a different impression until you meet the person.
That's it, buddy. See.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that, but sure, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I laughed. I was like, no, he's a jerk. Don't kid yourselves. No. But it was interesting because I'm like, and the old adage is, hey, if everybody likes your call and everybody likes your show, you don't have a good show, you don't have a good call. That's just how it goes.
For sure.
Mark Spector joins us. The other question I have, Spec, is when I look bigger to the Oilers and I say, okay, so now they bring in Isaac Howard and he's a rookie and he's a highly touted rookie. And now they're bringing in Matt Savoy, who, guess what? They were drafted in the same draft class. They're the same age, right? One guy's coming out of college. One guy's potentially coming out of the American League. Then you throw in Andrew Mangiapane. So you have three guys in your top nine potentially, because I don't see any of them playing on your fourth line here in Edmonton. So three in your top. Do you believe you could win in the playoffs with three smaller guys, two of them being rookies in the playoffs?
I'm not worried about Andrew Mangiapane's size. Okay. Has he played 500 games in the league?
I would think so. Yes.
He's probably close. He's figured it out. He's not like Quinn Hughes small, or he's a little bigger than that. He's figured out how to play. He's a grindy. He doesn't back down from anyone. Andrew Mangiapane doesn't bother me one bit. He knows how to play in the league at his size. The other two young guys, there's a skill to being a smaller player, right? There's a skill, man. And, like they say, you go to the NCAA to play against men, and that's compared to junior, that's true. But the men in the NCAA aren't the same men as in the NHL. So Isaac, Howard is going to have to learn. If he was successful playing in the NCAA, it's another step up. He'll have to figure it out. Matt Savoy's played a year pro and produced. He produced in the AHL. He deserves a chance to produce in the NHL. So I hear what you're saying. I don't put Mangiapane in that mix, Jay. 2 rookies, 2 smaller rookies. What's the chances that both of them are playing in round 3 of the playoffs? Probably less than 50%. But they're both pretty good players. They could prove you wrong.
Okay. Yeah, no, I look at the history of it, and I think the odds of it happening, and I know, so that's why people have to remember, like, Edmonton's goal is to win the cup right now. And so you have to develop players, and it's a hard balance to develop players and compete for the cup at the same time. It just is. It's hard to do. So, you know what? You can do it and see how it goes in October, November, December, January, because your team's probably good enough to still be a playoff team at that point. But then you'll see and say, okay, is our team good enough to win in the playoffs as the way we're going, right? And then the other factor is when you're rookie spec, there's the fatigue factor, right? Like it's no joke. Like the playoffs are hard. They're devastating on veterans, never mind on young guys too. So that's, to me, there's just a lot of factors that the organization is considering when you look at kind of where they're at in their competitive window. It's ultra competitive, and that's what makes it so fun and challenging to win, because you got to balance all of these things at one time.
For sure. And again, I think Savoy, having played the year pro, has a leg up on Howard, right? Howard will hit the wall. Like that wall will find Isaac Howard in January or February for sure. If, let's say, he plays every game with the Oilers this year just for fun, he's never played an 82 game season like that against men with all that travel every second night, Philly, New York, Islanders, Devils. Like, it hits every guy. And it hits those young guys coming up, those NCAA kids. We've watched it for years. It'll hit him too. So that's another challenge for Isaac Howard. He's gonna, that's part of the reason why I'm watching expectations here of him already from the fan base, and I think they're setting themselves up for disappointment to some extent, and I think they're setting him up for failure. Let the kid breathe a little bit here, folks. He's going to need some time to turn pro. Like, the NCAA, it's not pro hockey, okay? It's not pro hockey. It's a mile below the AHL, and it's 40 miles below the NHL. Give the kid some air here.
Mark Spector joins us from Rogers Sportsnet. Spec, here, total different question. Connor McDavid. So, he played, they went to the Stanley Cup final back-to-back. He played in the Four Nations. He's obviously going to play in the Olympics. So is Leon Draisaitl. You come out of the Olympic break, and your goal is to win a Stanley Cup. I would strongly consider having a conversation with Connor McDavid prior to say, okay, those first few games after the All-Star break, you're not playing. I need you to rest. I talked to Connor this year, and he admitted, now, it was very tight. It was that turnaround. They played Thursday night, right? And then they went out, and, I kind of joked with them, Connor McDavid doesn't party lots. And thankfully, he did go party. They won the Four Nations, as he should, right? But then they had a matinee game, right? And you're tired, and now you're playing catch-up for a bit. And so, to me, if I'm the Oilers organization, and I get that he's a captain, and I understand, leadership, whatever. No one's going to think he's not a leader. But you look and say, okay, now you're traveling back from the Olympics. I'm giving him at least him and Draisaitl. Although Draisaitl may be different because Germany might be out. Well, probably will be out a lot sooner. So it's different. But you go to that gold medal match, I'm saying, Connor, we're giving you at least 2 days off. What do you think?
Oh, at least 2 days. I was on that trip. I watched the final of the Four Nations in Philly on a Thursday night, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And did they play a Saturday or Sunday afternoon?
Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon, and Philly beat them. So yeah, I tell them to go from, where are we? We're in Italy. You know what? if I'm the boss and I get to make the call, I say, go to the Greek islands for 4 or 5 days and then meet us up wherever we are, right? Don't even come back here. Go sit in the beach, chill out, man. Like, I totally agree with you. No, it doesn't reflect. You got to convince Connor McDavid it's a good idea, and that's going to be hard, but absolutely, Jason. And I think he's a veteran. He's been through a couple cup runs here. But you are 100% right. Find a nice, sandy, warm place for Connor McDavid after that Olympics in Italy and say, if you miss 4 games, who cares?
Spec, have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Jay.
It's Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. When we come back, the best possible scouting analysis of the newest member of the Edmonton Oilers, Ike Howard. by none other than his head coach at Michigan State, Adam Nightingale. Next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
So you're dying from the heat, wet dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Send me Legacy's AC Repairman. Legacy's AC Repairman. AC Repairman. Can't spell Legacy without AC. Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is at the Brick. Get up to $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Convertible fridge freezers start at just $199. Barbecue start at just $299. Get up to 60% off clearance models and below-cost scratch and dent items in-store only. Plus, pay 0% interest on appliances until 2029. Best of all, they'll beat any competitor's advertised price. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money. Support Canada at cantork.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
You on a busy Wednesday on the show. Let's get quickly to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League, designed to elevate female youth hockey. The FSL provides a platform for U12, U14, and now U16 girls to develop and improve their skills. Learn more at femalesuperleague.com. And the big news in Edmonton, of course, last night, the Oilers acquired the rights to Ike Howard, who was the 31st overall pick in the 2022 NHL entry draft by Tampa Bay. They gave up Sam O'Reilly and in the process signed Howard to a 3-year entry-level deal. He's played 3 years of NCAA, including the last 2 seasons at Michigan State University. Last year had an unbelievable season, 26 goals, 52 points in 37 games, and won the Hobey Baker. And I don't know if there's anybody better on the planet to talk about his game than his head coach, Adam Nightingale, who joins us now. Coach, welcome to the show. How you doing?
No, real good. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, I really appreciate it. So you were able to, you've had a guy who, when you have a special talent as any head coach, it's, it's funny. You were an NCAA player yourself, and then you played minor pro for a few years. You also, you've been in the NHL as a video coach and assistant coach with Detroit, and then you went back to NCAA, and you've won back-to-back championships. So you've had a lot of success. Tell me about Howard, really just the last 2 seasons you've had him, and what has been the biggest improvements you've seen in his game?
Yeah, fortunate to have him. It even goes back further. When I coached the national team, I had him for 2 years there. So I coached him, from 16 to 18, and then I got the job here. He went to Duluth, and then the next year he transferred. So for the last 5 years, I've had a chance to coach. I think the world of him. He's an unbelievable teammate. He loves hockey. He loves being at the rink. I've never seen him have a bad day in 4 years at the rink. You always get his best effort. I think just like any young offensively talented player, learning how to play away from the puck takes time. He does some things that we could never claim to teach him offensively, but I'm trying to help him grow his game, and that doesn't happen overnight. But to give him credit, he's grown that, and that's going to suit him well and help him as he takes his next step here.
We're going to get Adam on hold here because we're just going to talk to Declan. Hopefully, we'll get a cleaner connection. Maybe get him to just dial us right back in here in a second. So, because there was just a little bit too staticky there. So we'll try it once again, and hopefully we'll get a better connection the next time and see. Just because he's got some unbelievable answers there, so I want everybody to be able to hear them clearly. So don't worry, it's not your radio. That was just the connection. So he'll call us right back, and we'll get it cleared out. So I always love talking to Coach because they see every day a player's development. And sometimes even, you see it every day. It's just all of a sudden it's like, okay, we've been working on this, boom. Yeah. Now it clicks and it steps in and it's better. And Coach Adam Nightingale is back with us. And I love what you said there, how, there's certain elements that you can't really coach. You obviously want to encourage it, and you see certain plays where a guy just is like, what do we do here? But when it comes away from the puck, it's the hardest thing, especially for skilled players, because most of them growing up, they were so much better than everyone else. They could just outskate guys and get into position, but as the game, you get higher up, now there's more better players. So how do you help young offensive guys become better away from the puck?
Yeah, you're right. I think you have to have some patience, and when you sit down and talk with them, it's about getting them to understand, what their end goal is. And obviously, from a young age, when I got him at 16, he dreamed about playing in the NHL. So, fortunate to work in the league and understand how good those guys are away from the puck and detailed away from the puck. And I think sometimes it does take the level to get it out of them. I can remember being, at the national team, and I think the one year we had, it was all those 04s. It was like Cooley and Gauthier and Howard and Nazard and McGroarty. We had a really good team, but I think a lot of those kids, it probably needed to get to college to really understand how important they were playing against junior players and younger players. And no different here, right? Ike's taken a big step, but I think just, continuing to stay on it. I do believe in coaching. It's a lot of it's planting seeds, and eventually they'll come to fruition if you keep working with them. And the players got to want to do it, right? And that's where that speaks to Ike's character. Even a year ago, he could have signed with Tampa, and we had a meeting, and I just told him, hey, I support you if you want to do it, but he wanted to kill penalties. I said, well, if you want to kill penalties, you got to block shots. And he's like, okay. Or I want to play 4-on-4. I said, okay, you got to stay with your man. You have to stay with your man. You do it. And I give him credit. He did it. Did all those things. He came back and earned those. So I think letting them know what the standard is, and then just coach them, and you got to have a little patience for sure.
Yeah, because you don't want to stifle their offense, right? That's the major part of his game, right? His offensive instincts, his shot, just seeing the ice. And, I had Stephen Ellis from Daily Faceoff as a scout, and he said one of his best attributes is just how he's able to find the opening, right? And you come to Edmonton, there's a chance he could play with arguably the two best passers in the game. What did you see with his anticipation and reading of the play in the offensive zone? What makes him so special once he gains the zone?
Yeah, he's got I think all players want to score, but I really do think there's some guys that have a unique drive to score, right? And that's what really, gets his engine going. So I think he's we talk about competing on the ice. I do think guys do it in different ways, and you got to be locked in and reading the play and sprinting to spots and finding soft spots and constantly. And to me, that's like an offensive player competing to get open. And I think he does an unbelievable job of that. And I also think he can, not everyone can play with good players. And Ike's one of those guys where he's not gonna break the chain, and he can help guys around him be better.
The fact that, he went on the penalty kill and, blocking shots and doing all that, it didn't sacrifice his offense. His offense actually got a lot better. And Coach, I'm sure you've heard it around. You want best offense is a good defense, because maybe then you get the puck more. You're not defending as much. Did you see him just being on the penalty kill? And I don't know if you had him on your first unit penalty kill or not. I'm guessing maybe, second or third rotation. But doing that, how did that help him offensively?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think first off, there's no reason a guy with an elite offensive mind shouldn't be able to kill because he's seeing the play from how the offensive players are seeing it, right? So you should be able to read and anticipate. But I think he was proud of earning it, right? It wasn't like, hey, I want to play in the penalty kill. It was like, okay, Ike, you're a good player, so we're just going to listen to you. You got to earn it. And so I think there's a little bit of badge of honor for him, but like he started doing some of the things that he needed to do to be a good penalty killer. He's got a lot of he can skate, he's got good poise, he can clear a puck, he can hold the line, he can knock pucks down. And but yeah, I definitely think that helped him, one, just believing, hey, I can do it and value doing the right things. And also, if you're not killing and your team ends up taking some penalties, you're sitting on the bench and then you lose your legs a little bit. So I think a combination of all those, has really helped lead to generating more offense.
When you've seen guys come out of NCAA, and it's tough. We've talked to so many players like that, going from junior and NCAA to pro hockey. Doesn't matter if it's the AHL, NHL. It's hard. It's a big jump. You're playing against men. You look at his foot speed. I know I was told he has above average NHL speed right now. Do you view him, Adam, as quick or fast? And where is his speed the most dangerous?
No, I view it as more quick. He's a darting skater, and I think that's again back to a little bit how he finds space in the offensive zone. He's able to dart to those areas, and so I think he does. I thought last season, like last summer, he did add a step to his straightaway speed, and that helped him generate a little bit more and beating some defensemen wide and taking the puck to the net. But he's definitely a quick darting skater.
Adam Nightingale joins us, head coach, back-to-back championships with Michigan State University. Of course, also the coach of Ike Howard, newest member of the Edmonton Oilers. You mentioned how you had that conversation with them. Okay, you come back. As a coach, Adam, you talk about you want to plant seeds, and then, it's kind of like you water it, and eventually it starts to grow in a player. When you have a player like that who you knew had legit NHL aspirations, not every player on your team does. You still want them all to improve, but do you have to challenge them in a different way than you do some guys who are just like, like their best is going to be a senior in NCAA? Does it change at all in how you challenge a player who has NHL aspirations?
No, I mean, I think you try to recruit the kids that are self-motivated and driven, right? And that's Ike's one of those guys. And the rest of the guys, I like to think that's a little bit what we try to target, right? So you're not. And I think one of the best things you can do for a young hockey player is not give them special treatment, right? At the end of the day, Ike was going to get a chance to play in the NHL. He's going to go to an organization, and the reason they sign him, just like Edmonton, is to help them win hockey games. So I think really making sure the guys are grounded and have a humility to them. And, Ike obviously won the Hove. He was the best player in the country. But he didn't get special treatment here, and I think that's a philosophy of our staff and I do think the best players want to be coached and they want to be held accountable and want to be held to a standard. And, you got to communicate probably with each guy a little bit different, but I do think I really respect that about Ike, though. He wants to be coached and he wants to be held to a standard.
Is he a big personality?
Yeah, he's great. You know what? And I think he's helped me grow as a coach in that way too. Like I go back to our first year with the 17 team. I think we were playing a North American League team or something. You got all these kids. I mean, they're in over their head a little bit playing junior. They're so young, and he scored a goal. It was like the sixth goal in a 6-1 game, and he like laid his stick on the ice and put his hands over top of it. I'm like, did I just see what I saw? So we talked about that a little bit, and just the importance of, hey, I love that you're excited you're scoring, but make sure it's always about the team and celebrating with your teammates. And I think where he helped me grow is understanding how important it is to, not maybe be so rigid. I'm not saying you can't celebrate, but like, I think having your personality and being yourself is one of the key ingredients to reaching your potential as a player. And if you're trying to be someone you're not, you're never going to reach it. So Ike's got a great way about him. He brings energy and juice to the rink every single day, but he's also dialed in and focused.
Yeah. And I love what you said there. It helps you as a coach that, geez, I can smile sometimes. Maybe I can laugh a little bit as a coach, right? Like, cause I think at times as a coach, you feel like you could never do that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I told like that I appreciated him. I needed to change too, right? It wasn't just he needed to change for sure. Like we got to rein it in a little bit, but I also needed to change too, and I think we found met each other in the middle.
Adam, I also want to talk. Obviously, there's big changes in NCAA. Now with major junior players eligible to come, we see Gavin McKenna, who's going to be the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NHL draft. He goes to Penn State. I heard that you guys, had made a pitch to get him as well. Do you have a sense of just kind of like, is it going to become even more of the wild, wild west? And is that challenge as a head coach? Like, because sometimes in college, and you played there, like, you get a group of guys and you kind of have your main core and away they go. But now with the transfer portal, you can have some guys who you're like, hey, I think this he's a third liner this year. He's going to be a second liner for us next year. But all of a sudden he leaves because someone else, he can be a first liner. How challenging is that? Or do you even know how challenging that's going to be right now?
Yeah, I mean, all college athletics is just a changing landscape, and whether you like the rules or how things are, I mean, we got to follow them, and then you got to try to make the best team you can, and so I think it goes back to, again, how you recruit. We're not a used car salesman. We try to sell kids on things that have substance, and I think that's how we practice, how we play, how we train, how we feed our guys, the support we give them. Like, to me, those are the things you should make decisions on. It shouldn't be a financial thing, and I think it's great for hockey. I know it's kind of shocking to, major, junior, and college and all this, but at the end of the day, it's about opportunities for players. And I don't think it's right if at 15 or 16 years old, you make a decision and now you limit you can't play college, and I think both sides are going to benefit from it. I think before, we recruit kids that a Michigan kid or a Minnesota kid or a Western Canadian, they want to go to college, so they don't even touch major, junior. Now those kids can go there and play and develop, and if they're ready to go to the NHL, they can step right in and play. It's obviously a proven track record, and if they need some more time or they need to play at a level where maybe the guy's a little bit older and maybe need the weight room, and you got the full week to lift and pump some iron to try to build your body to be ready for an 84 game schedule. You can still go down that path. So I think it'll take some time for everyone to get used to it, but our job as college coaches now is to develop relationships with the Western Hockey League, Ontario League, the Quebec League, and be through the front door program. We're not sneaking around rinks and trying to poach kids. We're an option, and we're going to work through their coaches. And I think in 3 to 5 years, it'll be the norm. And I think it's super healthy for the game.
Adam Nightingale joins us. Adam, back-to-back championships. That's pretty impressive. Players have aspirations as a coach. You were in the NHL before. Did you go back to college because you felt like, hey, if I'm going to be a head coach ever in the NHL, I got to be the head coach, of my own program? Was that part of it, or was it just NCAA life? You're the school that you played at as a player. Was that part of it? Kind of where are you at?
Yeah. It's funny. I never really. One thing I was probably not great at as a player, I was always looking at what was next. And when I got into coaching, I just told myself, I'm just going to be truly, like every coach tells you, be where your feet are and try to be the best. So, I started actually coaching whatever it was 18 years ago at Shattuck St. Mary's, and I was a head coach there for a couple of years. I went to Michigan State for 4 years. I went back to Shattuck, was a head coach for 2 years. Then that's when I went to the NHL, the Buffalo, Detroit. But then I left the Red Wings. I wanted to be a head coach again, so I went and coached the national team, and then the Michigan State job opened up. So I don't get any more satisfaction of working in the NHL, working at Shattuck, working at Michigan State. I love being around a group of guys and trying to help guys improve and shoot for a common goal. And you never know what the future holds, but I just told myself when I first got into it, I'm going to focus on one thing, and that's where I'm at right now.
So what's the focus of your team? Like, unfortunately, you're super pumped, I'm sure, when Ike, or you talked to him after he got traded and signed his contract, so he's turning pro, but it's a pretty big loss for your team. How do you replace him?
Yeah, no, it's when I figured there's probably about a 2% chance Ike was coming back, to be honest with you. Yeah, so super excited for him. We got a really deep team and a good group of guys. They're in town training now and with our strength coach and doing some stuff on the ice with on their own. And you look at what we have down the middle, like Charlie Stramel is a first rounder of the Minnesota Wild. Caden Lidstrom's a first rounder of Columbus. Eric Nielsen is a Swedish, has got a chance to make their World Junior team. He'll be a freshman with us. He just was taken in the second round. And you look at Anthony Romani's coming to us from the OHL. I mean, he scored 58 goals a year ago. He's a very talented player. Riker Lee went in the first round to Pittsburgh. He's got a really good stick. I mean, I think we have a lot of talent, and we got our goalie, Trey Augustine, went back-to-back World Junior golds, and our backup goalie was a Swedish World Junior goalie. So in our back end, I think we got 5 draft picks and an All-American. So we're super excited about our group. But obviously, Ike won the Hobie, and so we got to do it by committee too. Like, we got some guys that got to take steps in their games, and then some of the new guys coming in got to chip in. But we like our team, and on paper it looks to be good, but that doesn't mean anything until the puck drops.
Well, Adam, thanks so much for this. Congratulations. One last one for you. When it comes to Ike's scoring ability, are there certain areas of the ice that he's just more dangerous at, where when he gets the puck, you're like, okay, like shooting off the left flank, shooting in motion? Where does he score most of his goals?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like any, every level you go up, you got to be able to get to the inside. It's hard to score from distance on NHL goalies, right? So unless you have traffic, they're probably stopping it from distance. So I think it's just his ability to, again, use his darting skating to get to inside ice, and then it just being up his ability to shoot it off the pass. He can one time at catch and shoot it, stoop and shoot it. Like his ability to get it on and off his stick quick is elite, and he's going to need to do that if he's going to have success scoring at that league.
Awesome stuff, Adam. Thanks so much for this. We really appreciate it, and continued success. Go for the three-peat.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you. Anytime. Appreciate you having me. Have a great summer.
You betcha. You too. That's Adam Nightingale, the head coach of the back-to-back champion Michigan State University, the Spartans, and they now have one less player because Ike Howard is now a member of the Edmonton Oilers organization. They acquired him in a trade last night for Sam O'Reilly. Final break of the show. We'll come back, wrap things up. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable, call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's next public unreserved automotive RV auction is Saturday at 9 a.m., featuring vehicles from Alberta government surplus, City of Calgary, counties, municipalities, utility companies, and private consigners, all sold to the highest internet bidder. View on site, bid online. Info at maauctions.com.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy, from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen. When I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob, but less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They are the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, TEG, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:48. Wrapping up a busy Wednesday. I gotta tell you, there's no off season in sports. So that's what's great about our show. There's always lots and lots to talk about. Of course, the Jays, we didn't really mention it, but the Jays streak is over. Oh, we're gonna win every game, but still, it was a fun ride. 10 in a row for the Jays. They have been the hottest team in Major Leagues of Baseball for like the last 6 weeks. They are rolling. They got one of the best records in the American League East. You're not going to win every game. They're 54 and 39. It's the most wins they've ever had before the All-Star break. Now they have played a few more games. The All-Star break seems like a little bit later this year than in previous years. But their next series before the All-Star break, they got the Oakland Athletics, who are 38 and 55. So an opportunity to win another series. That's really all you want. If you can win, go 2-1 in every series, you're killing it. You'd be pumped. So the Jays, at worst, they got a 3-game lead over the Yankees. So not bad. 4 more wins. The Yankees have 2 more losses. The Jays have played 2 more games though than the Yanks thus far. They got 5 more wins than the Rays. So they're in a pretty good position. And it's just going to be a matter of what do they do near the trade deadline. And it's interesting because what they need, the team right now who's got a very good record, the LA Dodgers. But the LA Dodgers have lost 6 in a row, and their pitching staff is decimated. And now they're getting injuries elsewhere. Like, they spent a lot of money, and I know it seems like they got an endless pit of money, but I'm kind of curious to see what the Dodgers do. Now, maybe they can get to the playoffs and everybody be healthy and it won't really matter, but I'm telling you, like, they're the team that I cannot root for to lose. Just be like, they've taken over the Yankees when the Yankees and Steinbrenner, they spent a lot of money, good for them, and they won a lot because of it. And that's kind of what the Dodgers are. There's nothing stopping other owners from wanting to do it. The LA Dodgers owner just like, hey, we'll spend the money. And they're willing to do it. They don't really care. Luxury tax, luxury smacks. We'll play whatever we want. And it's clearly working out. Also got a lot of text line in 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, my favorite player, Murray Bannerman, point night. Oh, God, was it ever? When he was in Chicago, there wasn't a lot of 5 goals against nights for Murray. It was like 7 or 8. Hey, guys, speaking of hockey cards, I always got the Harold Sneps. Oh, yeah. When he was wearing the Vancouver V, yeah, that one's pretty popular. No questions. Love it. Hey, guys, what about Kawasaki from Playbook Vic? Yeah, it's funny. Donovan and Declan. Donovan mentioned how Kawasaki would have been like your favorite guy. Although, well, he's in the majors, but you're right. He was never a great Major League Baseball player. No question. But, man, his interviews were unbelievable. He was funny. Very funny. So, guys, Eddie the Eagle was that guy. Yeah, you know what? It's hard not to like Eddie the Eagle if you were an Olympic fan. It was short-lived fame, but it was classic. He had the glasses on, looked kind of geeky, wasn't really competitive in the ski jump, but he did it. He did it. Hey, guys, why would Gulletson leave a team that's been in the Stanley Cup final twice? Winning the Cup in the system would be just as good. It kind of makes me think he thinks the Oilers can't do it, so he decided to move on from just a door guy. No, man. He wants to be a head coach. You want to challenge yourself. And he's going to Dallas. Like, Dallas has been the 3 consecutive Western Conference finals. I know they lost Edmonton twice, but he probably feels they're pretty good. And he also, he gets to run his own ship. And there's also a pretty big financial incentive. Make no mistake, right? He's probably doubling for sure, tripling his salary. So that's a factor in it. But for a guy who's been a head coach before, he wants to be a head coach again. And he probably looks and says, yeah, is Edmonton going to be a good team next year? Yes, but so are we. And that's what you want to do. Hey, guys, do you think Rob Dahm would return any chance of a reunion? From Nick, I'd be surprised on that. I'd be quite surprised. So we'll see. Tomorrow on the show, Ike Howard will join us in hour number 1. We'll talk some Elks as they get set to take on the BC Lions. Probably go out to BC and hear from their side of things and more. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday evening. On behalf of Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson, I'm Jason Gregor. Thanks as always for listening. If you missed any of the show, we had an unbelievable array of guests today. So check it out. Each individual interviews at jasongregor.com or anywhere where you get your podcast. Kevin Woodley, Steve Ellis, Yaremchuk, DVD, Mark Spector, Michigan State head coach Adam Nightingale, and more. Enjoy the night. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. It's the OG tonight, Lotto 649. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
MLB Finals from earlier today saw the Chicago White Sox beating the Toronto Blue Jays 2-1 at Wright Field. That one ends the Blue Jays' 10-game winning streak. Other finals include Phillies over the Giants 13-0 and the Brewers over the Dodgers 3-2 in extras. Games on right now see the Rays leading the Tigers 7-3 in the bottom of the 9th, Yankees over the Mariners 3-1 in the bottom of the 3rd, and the Cincinnati Reds up on the Marlins 3-0 in the top of the 3rd. WNBA action will get going in about 5 minutes here between the Wings and the Sky. Finals today saw the Sun over the Storm 93-83, the Valkyries over the Fever 80-61, and the Mercury over the Lynx 79-71. In Wimbledon today, Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner both advanced to the men's semis. In the women's draw, it was Belinda Bencic and Iga Swiatek advancing as well. News from around the sporting world as infielder DJ LeMahieu has been designated for assignment by the Yankees. He is owed nearly $22 million in the remainder of his 6-year contract. The automated ball strike system is coming to the All-Star game next week in Atlanta. MLB officials added that the feature to the annual exhibition game could be a precursor to becoming a permanent part of the majors next year. And PSG won over Real Madrid 4-0 to reach the FIFA Club World Cup final, where they will play Chelsea. Local baseball action, Riverhawks, they're playing tonight in Bellingham against the Bells, and the West Coast League All-Stars were announced today with 4 Riverhawks on the team. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.